You know what one of the best feelings on the planet is, and Joe, it may be a long time for you to have even remembered this, or if you remember it at all. To be fair,
A good pegging?
no, I'm sure you have quite vivid memories of that. Shit, where's my coffee?
You brought down an empty.
Did I bring down? I brought down the wrong one. I'm going to have to go get it here in a second.
My goodness.
That's not the best feeling in the world, by the way.
No,
that's missing your fucking
the worst. I feel like I just fucking had it.
Did you?
Yo, this is happening all the time. This is my life now.
COVID
cranium.
I think the walls between the universes are just very, very thin.
Yeah, I'll go look for it after we get into this intro. But
why do you have an empty one? That's the question. Do you bring down an empty
I
one?
probably was drinking it. It's either I brought down an empty one.
No, this warm at all? Did you? This isn't. You didn't like just slam your coffee.
No, hell no.
Is your coffee still warm? Let's just make sure nothing. Okay,
yes.
mine's still warm.
Yeah,
so
yeah, mine would
we
be-
haven't jumped
I mean,
time
just-
or anything.
He just brought down an empty fucking mug.
And I've been drinking mine in these because it lasts longer.
The
Yeah, it
thermoses?
So anyway, I say
Coffee talk with Nerd Rage.
I say all that to say this. One of the best feelings in the world, and it may be the best. It's up there. It's up there.
Is it like gliding the scissors through the wrapping paper good?
Better.
Oh wow.
Better.
Okay.
It's when you wake up and you realize the hangover is gone.
Okay.
Not the movie.
Because there's 3 of them.
There's 3 of them, and there shouldn't have been
There shouldn't
arguably
have been
3.
There shouldn't have been more than one.
Well, you have one the whole day before?
No. So, like, what I'm saying, like,
You slept off the hangover?
yeah, because usually I feel like that's when the hangover goes away. Is like you take a nap at some point, and you wake up, and
Fucked
and you
up,
beat it,
yeah.
and you beat it. But like, so I'll tell you why I say that. I woke up this morning, and I had a lot to drink last night because my wife and I were in a party vibe, and then we were getting nasty, and then it was like just seemed like the right thing to do, and I wasn't really thinking about it, and I only had I think like 1 chicken breast and some asparagus for dinner, and which isn't totally an uncommon dinner for me, but it just happened to be the case this time. And then I woke up this morning and I was like one of those, like, I wonder how this room is going to feel when I get out of this bed.
Yeah. When you stand up,
I
that's the test.
I feel like it could go either way. And then I was like, and I got up and I took a piss.
Asparagus piss.
Yeah, asparagus piss, which is always initially alarming and then relaxing because I'm like, oh, it's just the asparagus. And then I came back to bed, got in, beat my dick because we're still off the memory of last night.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
And then went back to sleep. And I had a headache. I had a little bit of a headache, but that's
Normal.
Yeah,
Par for the course.
Headache, schmedache. Went back to sleep, woke back up, and I was like, ruh-roh. It didn't feel good, and I was nauseous. And I was like, oh God. And then all I could think about, I woke up at like 6:50. All I could think about was like, man, I've got a 3-hour podcast to do
In 3 hours.
in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, and in my head, I start telling myself, you're just gonna fight through it. You're gonna fight through it. You fucking you like look. Some people go to the circus for the popcorn, but some people go for the clown. So you get in there and you put your fucking makeup on, and you get like, this is the talk I'm giving myself.
Honking your red nose.
and so I was like, okay, and I got dressed. As I got dressed, I walked into the bathroom because I was like, this might be it. And then it didn't. And I was like, okay. And then the other thing I got to think about was I just had my flu shot a couple of days ago too, and I've never really had an adverse. I hear people say all the time, like, I get it and then I get sick.
Yeah.
I've never really had or noticed an adverse reaction to it, but I was like, yeah, first time for everything, or maybe it's just things working in concert or in tandem that are. And I tell you, this one made my arm sore than usual.
Do you tense up?
I don't remember. And I'll also say that like I barely felt this one either. So like usually that feels like a shot, like you know, in and out. But this one, I like he was like, that's it, and I was like, oh, okay. Probably because I was just made of stone, Joe. You know what I mean?
That's what it is.
So
Tough shoulders, tender heart. You know what I mean?
I have kind of, for me at least, figured out a way around having a hangover if I'm drinking heavy.
Water.
A bottle of water right before I go to bed,
Yep.
and then a bottle of water as soon as I wake up.
Yep.
And it alleviates like 90% of anything I have.
So I
It's only if you remember.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to plan for that.
So every time I feel like I've gone too far, which is rare because I drink enough where I kind of know my pocket.
Right.
But every time that I get out of pocket, I'm like, all right, you got to get some water in you, unless I just had an amazing orgasm and now I'm fucking exhausted.
You're not getting no after that.
So I say all that to say this: I get dressed, I go downstairs, and I'm like, oh no! And the kids, two of them are up, Leia's still asleep. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta get one up. Jana's independent; she's gonna leave for school on her own here shortly, no problem, right? And I'm like, okay, what do you do? Selena's like, I think I'm gonna wake Jana up. I think I'm gonna wake Leia up and pick out her outfit, and you know what I mean, and because Selena enjoys that, and I was like, that sounds like a great idea, and so then like I sat down. So it's 7:30. They have to get on the bus at 8:30. Nerve rage is at 9. I sat down on the couch and I was like, if I get my shit together in this 1 hour, I've got a fighting chance. So I just laid my head down on the couch. I set an alarm because I don't trust myself. I woke up to the alarm and felt like $1,000,000.
That's great.
And I was
perfect.
like, fuck, yes. I jumped up. I was like, okay, we got about 15 minutes before we get on the bus. Is there anything that needs doing? Leia's like, I haven't eaten. I was like, here's your breakfast bar. And then I was like, Selena, you need anything? She's like, well, this health thing needs to get signed and figured out. And I'm like, oh, I hope I have the answers to this because sometimes I often don't. So I got it, and it turns out I did. Filled that out, signed it. We're in the bags. Shoes are on. Jackets are on. Backpacks are on. Water bottles are filled. Masks are in hand. And we're out the door to catch the bus.
Boom.
Fucking money.
That's it.
What a way.
It's such a fucking hit or miss for me. Like I don't risk napping even when I really want to. Sometimes I would just get myself up because like a nap can be great.
Yes.
But it can also be like the worst fucking thing in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not.
I don't want to tempt the fate.
I
Yes.
don't often feel well after it. And that I honestly I feel kind of hungover when I get up from a nap.
Right. Like I feel like super groggy. My body's like
Yeah.
sluggish. Or I feel great, but I don't. I'm not a gambler.
Yeah, I know that like if I get more than a half hour of sleep during the day, I'm usually done for.
Yeah.
That's it for me.
Yeah, that's probably me too.
I feel like I'm wearing like a blanket over my head like the entire
You
day.
just can't get right.
But this is a different circumstance because my body needed to recover. So like I think I went back to sleep.
Yeah.
You know,
Just a
I
short
didn't
sleep,
take
not
a nap. Yeah, exactly. And then there was one other thing I wanted to say there, and my mind's drawing a blank. But during a regular day, 15 minutes, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, like sometimes like in the mopping van on the way back from mopping up a floor. If I can just grab 5 to 10 minutes of sleep on the way back, like in the back of the mopping vehicle, I feel like the whole day has been rebooted for me. Like I'm just in go mode again, you know?
That's great.
Yeah. So let's get into Nerd Weeks, but first, accessories. And then I'm going to find my coffee. Before we get into Nerd Weeks, though, I will say I found my coffee. And I'm bringing this up because recently I've been looking at these. I don't know why, but I'm like addicted to them, like these things that white people say. It's like my new favorite thing in the world, but like
It makes sense. You're a white person.
yeah, but like right where I left it. It was right where I left it. Like that's this other one that they had on there was
White
like
dad shit.
you smell my dogs on me, don't you?
Yep. That's one for sure.
And when you get the check, what's the damage?
I can't relate.
Oh God, dude.
I catch myself doing shit sometimes. Like I'm at a restaurant.
It's in your jeans, bruh.
Instead of saying, I'll say, I'll do the Caesar. I was like, and after I say, I'm like, why do I say that? I'm not doing anything. I'd like to say what.
Yeah.
Is it because you guys pass a certain age and like some switch turns on,
I
and then you start saying this stupid shit?
I catch myself all the time saying like, wow, that's shit that like old people say that annoys me. Now I'm fucking saying it, and I don't know why. It's these teeth are so long they're just dragging the ground.
I mean, you didn't do that shit when you're in your 20s.
You know those old guys that always say the same type of shit every time? Like, I don't know if you have any of those people in your life. They all, like, just like, you know, hey, you know, what's up, Mr. So-and-so? Another day, another dollar, another 20 in debt. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yep,
Like
every time.
Hey, how you doing, Larry? They always name Larry or some shit. Like, how you doing, Larry? Like, right side of the dirt pile. Like, shit like that. Like,
Those are the NPCs of the world.
Have I? They are. Have I ever told you guys the story? It's almost lore at this point. point of Terry Nave that I worked with. Terry Nave was an older gentleman he was very knowledgeable on auto parts. This is the auto parts business. He was the guy people call. Let me talk to Terry Nave every time, even if they just wanted wiper blades. He was their guy.
Right.
The technology had surpassed him, so he couldn't keep up with the computer's eye. But he knew his shit, and he was so funny. He'd always he'd call it sticking. So almost every morning he'd walk in.
So there I am, Joe, sticking all
almost every morning he'd walk in and say, "Did we sticking last night?" Like, "No, Terry, I didn't get a chance. How about you?" He's like, man, I sniffed around it a bit. I didn't get there though.
Like a hound dog.
So almost every day he'd come in. You do sticking last night? So he had this limerick when it started to get a little chilly outside. He'd say, when it's hot and sultry, that's no time for adultery.
Here you go.
When there's frost on the pumpkin, that's time for Peter Duncan. So there's a whole group of us, probably to this day.
You said that before, but it's great every time.
To this day, there's a whole group of us that worked with Terry at some point. That
Peter Duncan. Dude, what a hootie patootie.
So there's a whole group of us that worked with him at some point. That it's cold outside. He'd walk in, rubbing his hands, just like, "Woo, frost on a pumpkin." I don't know.
You're passing on that legacy, bro.
Silly things, man.
Speaking of hootie patooties, I got wind of another little hootie patootie that we may know.
Uh-oh.
So, for those listeners, old Maryland Phil is a friend of ours, and he takes care of our Twitter. He takes care of our notes, which I still haven't done because I was hungover this morning, but we'll work our way through it, boys.
He comes here too.
And he comes from time to time and co-hosts and
he brings delicious sweet treats.
Delicious sweet treats. So I don't really get a lot of notifications about the Twitter account, but I got this notification recently that says so-and-so has responded to your direct message. So I was like, huh. So I opened that puppy up, and it was some like hot-ass anime girl. And I was like, Phil, you little hootie patootie slipping up in them DMs. I see you, Phil. I see you.
Get some.
Get some. Do what you do,
Get
Phil.
some sticking.
Dude.
Hey, you want to do some sticking?
You're Phil Duncan. So, Chris, you had your coffee first. Joe, how was your nerd week?
I stuck a lot of old people, so to speak.
Oh, I was like, stick, better than sticking.
Please don't mix my story with Joe's.
Flu season has begun, huh?
Yeah, for a few weeks now, I've been sticking a lot of old people. I've lost track.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I'm so desensitized to shots. You were talking about getting shots earlier. I can stick myself.
Mm-hmm.
But like, they scare me, old people, and also annoy me.
Do they scare you just
There's
because
different types of old people.
because of the stuff they say, or like their
No,
mindset,
like
or
sticking
just,
them.
Oh, you're just
It
afraid
feels
you're
like,
gonna hurt.
bro.
like,
I'm not gonna put right
fragile.
through your goddamn bone, bro.
It's like, are you made of paper mache?
They are made of paper mache and they bleed
Yeah,
like
they
a stuck
do
pig
bleed like a
for no
motherfucker.
reason, no fucking reason.
Is it like the snap? Is it like they just like part of them just powders away?
It seems like it, dude. They're like, I can like grab the entire arm, like pinching them with 2 fingers. I'm like, I don't.
Sometimes though,
And they're so old. I'm just like, bro, you can die. You can die right now, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'm like, let me get you out of here so you don't die in my presence.
Yeah, then you had
'Cause I had to do
that.
stuff.
Yeah. Did I tell you I had to do the Heimlich on a girl here recently?
I don't think so. Girl,
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
How old?
12.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. So I've got it. I've got that training in like a work function in the past, and it was Jana's birthday.
Oh,
These girls who none of deserve death, but I don't think very highly of in
Right.
most regards. She was eating a piece of pizza and she had to get fucking pineapple and ham, and a fucking piece of ham, I guess, laid across her her esophagus, and she was like, and like ran over to the sink and was trying to, and I was like, oh fuck. So I somewhat reluctantly, and not because I did, but it was like I've never done it before, you know.
Yeah, in practice.
And I had this one little training on it, and and it's also a 12-year-old girl that I got to thrust from the fucking back now. Like I don't like
Nope.
Isolate that shit. Isolate that shit.
That sound clip's gonna get you ruined. You better change that.
Under the context, I think that just the optics of it don't look good.
And I know in my head I'm like, oh shit, I wonder if their parents are okay with me. I mean, that's a million things, but you don't have time to go through all that.
Right. So I was like, fuck. So I went over and I was like, boom, like one big one, so to speak. And this shit looked like flap. It was like a flap of ham. Like it looked
was it like the size of a Dorito,
dude. It looked like somebody like it was cut with a deli slicer, and it was like in the shape of a half moon. And
okay.
And like it just came right out and landed right in my sink, and I just walked away and acted like nothing happened because I didn't want to talk about it anymore. I didn't want anything to do with it. Yeah.
Did anybody talk about it?
Her parents wrote me. So that was nice.
Okay.
Bro, you saved the life, bro.
Did you guys reach out to them and tell them what happened, or did you just let her explain?
Laura did.
Okay.
Laura did. And then
fucking hero over here, bro.
Yeah. And then apparently, I wish they would have given me my flowers, but apparently they all said something to Laura, like Jana, Selena, and Leia all said something to Laura like later, privately, like, did you see that? Like, can you? Because I think they think I'm just not capable of anything because I just sort of like lamp around and record videos.
Sure.
So
that's a broad definition, but yeah, for sure.
You know, and like I went into fucking I went into this let's get it done mode.
Your training kicked in.
Yeah, my training. Yeah,
the one we all had in health class back in 5th grade.
Correct. So yeah, I mean, all's well that ends well, but yeah.
You should. Well, I guess it's not appropriate to make ham swallowing jokes at a 12-year-old.
I just after my based on what you just said, I just want to try it again this week. Longing, rusted, 17, daybreak, furnace, 9,
bro,
benign, homecoming, 1, freight car. Oh shit!
No, okay.
You go high, Joe. I'll go low.
Anyway, Joseph, continue.
I completely. Oh yeah, old people. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and you having to save lives.
Yeah.
And well, I wouldn't.
I'll tell you.
I mean, I would have to, but reluctantly.
Old people, for me, they can. Oh, this sounds awful. This might be worse.
Worse than thrusting a 12-year-old?
Yeah. For the sake of saving their life, of course. Some of them smell away.
The old people smell.
Yeah. So those
there's
types,
different kinds of
correct,
old people smell. That's like the mothball, which is kind of fine because you know, like it's who uses those anymore? Just old people.
Oh, you've been in the recliner too long today. But then there's like I love the old people that are like don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like they're like, dude, what are you gonna cancel me? You know what I mean?
Right.
I've got like 2 days left. You know what I mean? Like I love them because like they don't give a fuck. They say whatever they want to say. You got to deal with it. Like I love that raw humanity.
I feel like you should be that way, but when you're at that age anyway.
You earned it.
It's like when people are like, "Oh, this 90-year-old guy caught doing this shit. He's going to prison for 10 years." Who cares? He's 90. He's already done.
You earned it.
Exactly.
You earned it. Like you went 90 trips around it. You like I know at 40 the amount of shit I've had to deal with and just living 40 years, which is a blessing. But if you double that plus 10,
and then like
you've earned it.
Been in bad shape,
right?
For those years,
you can keep solid foods now.
Yeah, they just seem so fucking fragile. Like I would, if you gave one of these fucking ladies a fucking Heimlich maneuver, you'd probably just snap them in half.
Yeah,
that would be my fear of doing that. Is like I don't want to fucking break nobody's rib cage or.
It's like that scene in The Thing when like he goes to give the guy a CPR and the hand just punches right through and there's a mouth.
Yeah. They don't teach you that in the training, Joe.
Bro, like I wouldn't know what to do. I just hope I never deal with that shit. Like with a younger person, it's fine. It's like,
yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to have to deal with it, especially on my Pizza Friday, man.
And then there was this one guy.
I told that bitch not to get a fucking pineapple ham pizza.
I like ham.
I love that.
Just because she doesn't know how to handle ham right.
All right. So what else happened in your nerd week there, Joe?
Bro, look.
I told her not to get any kind of. I just get a traditional. Kind of traditional pizzas.
It's not like ham and pineapple is normal pizza.
It is normal pizza.
It's normal. It's normal.
It's not on any menu.
Yuppie pizza.
Dude, I've been eating pineapple on my pizza since I was a kid in Hong Kong when we were not yuppies.
There's yuppies over there too, though. You had yuppie influence.
in my bedroom-sized family apartment.
Yeah, your parents work with yuppies.
Appropriated yuppie culture.
Pizza Hut was fucking luxury. Like you know how like when you're kids sometimes like McDonald's feel like luxury because it's like going out to eat. Yeah, like Pizza Hut was like a once a year thing. Like when we got to go and sit down in the Pizza Hut, bro.
Yeah,
that shit was special. And then when we came here and it was just everyone like there's Pizza Huts everywhere you can just go to.
Yeah. So continue.
I started watching Squid Game. I heard it was good.
So my wife plowed through that. She actually stayed up one night and watched all of it.
They're like, I don't know how many episodes they're like hour-long episodes. We're in like episode 3 or 4. It's pretty fucking good. Squid Game on Netflix, Korean, but it's dubbed.
Is it anime?
No, it's
live action.
Live action. What's the premise?
It's like a fucked up game show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's like it's reminiscent of like Hunger Games of Battle Royale, kind of.
Oh, but fictional, like, not like a
right. Fictional.
Okay.
So like these people,
that stuff didn't really happen, Bobby.
Well, no, I'm just I'm making sure because you guys watch like the floor is lava and all this shit.
Yet it didn't happen yet.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, so like all these people are super like either down on the luck or just shitty people in life who are like have nowhere to go and are like they get offered to go to this place to play games to win a shit ton of money. A lot of these guys are like kidneys and eyeballs and shit because they signed to loan sharks.
Oh, gotcha.
And they can't pay. And they're like, well, you know, if you can't pay, well, by next month we can take your kidney.
Yikes.
So they end up going to this place, and then they find out that like when you lose, you die, or like a lot of these games are deadly dangerous.
Wow.
And then there's I don't want to spoil anything. I feel like you might be interested. Give you one episode.
Yeah.
There's character development there, and it's just like I don't know how they're going to. You know how like I always like to be able to relate to a character or like a character on a show,
right? Like
majority of these characters has no redeemable qualities.
So
they're like all just shitbags, like gambling addicts and shit.
So does the thought of these horrible people dying a horrible death keep you interested instead of having a character to like? Is that what your character?
I want to know. I want to know. Well, there are some characters that are interesting. Yeah. That like I don't hate. Like, oh, you're not a good person, but like I see where you're coming from. But like the premise is interesting. I want to see where this goes. Like why this is there and how is this set up. And there's like interesting parts in there because there's a bunch of workers who works for the games. There's a guy in charge swinging like a Dr. Doom mask. And a bunch of people who works for him who has guns and makes people do things, and they all wear masks, so they are anonymous. But you find out like some of them aren't on up and up with the boss, and they do their own thing behind the backs. So there's a lot of like interesting thing going on, and I do want to know what happens to some of the characters, whether I like them or not.
I read one thing. It said that it's tracking to be like their most popular, one of the most popular things they've ever done.
Squid Game.
Yeah,
like like the coworkers who are not into that culture at all, like anime or like
right.
K-drama and all, are talking about it at work. I'm like, it was on my list, so I put it higher on my list because like normies are talking about it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Kelly plowed through it, and it's kind of becoming a pop culture. Like Kennedy knows all about it from like TikTok.
Yeah, there are memes. I'm seeing memes. I don't understand a meme. I gotta watch it.
Yeah, she'll come and ask Kelly questions like, "What's this mean?"
Is that the red light thing?
Yes, the red light, green light thing.
Okay, so that's from that.
Yeah, they get shot.
Okay. Well, only thing to communicate is I've been seeing the meme recently that I don't understand.
Right.
There you go.
So maybe give it a shot because it is dubbed, and the dub is pretty good. Like matching it with the lip syncing, they did a pretty good job. And I think that's all I. Oh, dude, there is one guy on there. There's an old guy on there that I like, but he has like some kind of brain issues, which remind me of the old people shooting the old people, so to speak. Dude, I felt so bad. I had to give the shot to this old guy with dementia. Like he had help. His wife is there,
right?
Who is completely with it. She's lucid, and then they have another younger helper, obviously. And this guy is like acting like a child because he has no idea what's going on, and like.
Dude, dementia and Alzheimer's, man, is
I feel so bad for the wife.
It's so awful. It's like it's I don't want to say it's the worst thing but like it's up. It's in the top 5.
It's bad for you and everybody around you because you.
Correct.
At the beginning, anyway. At the beginning, you start to know there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Towards the end, I think you just have no fucking clue.
Yeah.
But people around you, because like she was talking, it's okay. We're gonna get chocolate afterwards, like a kid, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh. And then like he was like wincing, and like when I gave him a shot,
Right.
which is like, oh.
Yeah, I remember my dad.
And, oh man, I couldn't look her in the eye because like I feel
Into the
like she
pain.
has to like live with this
Yeah.
every day.
My dad, one time when he had pancreatitis, I think he had, and it was like his second time with it, and it almost did him in. And he was in the hospital recovering, and I went to go visit him. And when I went to go visit him, this guy was like screaming. It was like one of those hospital like recovery rooms where there's 2 beds in there, and there's a sheet between the 2. And this guy was like screaming these like weird things, like while we're there. And I'm like, what the fuck? And my dad just looks at me with this look like, I'm living with this fucking nightmare, and his wife was like, there's a gentleman next door that has dementia, and he's not okay. And so I like, I'm young. I went,
How old are you?
20 something, and I was like, laugh, just thinking more about how funny it is that my dad has to deal with, just knowing my dad. My dad likes peace. My dad doesn't want shit fucking with his shit. My dad, he wants all of his ducks in a row. He wants everything organized. He typewrit his fucking VCR, fucking, you know what I mean?
Doesn't want his food to touch each other.
He just,
It's a you thing.
He's fucking sorted out. My dad is every place has a thing. Everything has its place. You know what I mean? Like, you could be like, hey, I need a number 3 star head screwdriver. He'll be like, second drawer down, second one to the right. You know what I mean? Like, he's just that guy. So I giggled a bit, and the guy was like, yeah, fucking laugh it up. I built the fucking Brooklyn Bridge.
Oh my god.
It's like funny, but like it's not.
Yeah.
I have a story about a gentleman in a similar situation. When I was a teenager, I worked at the Piggly Wiggly, as I've discussed.
As one does.
Mr. Crutcher would come in, and Mr. Crutcher it was actually a pretty tragic story. His wife and children had been killed in an automobile accident that took his leg. So he had.
Oh my god.
He had.
That's not funny at all.
Well, hang on. He had prosthetic legs, and I don't know exactly what they squeaked, and you heard him coming a mile away. And he would just say things just out loud. Like, my great-granddaddy was a white man. Mr. Crutcher was not a white man.
Uh-huh.
But knowing the world I know now, I'm like, you might be right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And just randomly one day he said, TVA burnt my Lincoln.
TVA burnt my Lincoln.
Tennessee Valley Authority.
Oh, okay.
Who built all the dams and brought...
Yeah, but this
TV,
is
not that TVA. The TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, basically built the dams and the rivers and created power for the Tennessee Valley, which is North Alabama and part of Mississippi. And they did some unscrupulous things. And looking at the world now, yep, they probably did burn your Lincoln, Mr. Crutcher.
Wow.
Damn.
He said some other wild things too.
Yeah.
But those are the two
Yeah.
that come to mind that are probably actually true now that I think about it.
What is problem? When you can't tell what's
Exactly.
crazy talking, what's not.
Yeah.
Speaking of crazy things that happened in the past, do you remember when they were like outlawing certain size sodas? Like you couldn't get a soda over 32 ounces.
Well, that was
Wasn't
the
it
whole
outlaw?
super size.
Because there's
thing
no
brought
supersize.
up.
Yeah.
There is no supersize anymore.
Yeah, they
right.
don't.
So you remember that when that changed though, right?
I don't remember it being like an authoritative thing. I just remember like shit went away.
Yeah, like McDonald's is like, okay.
Because they like did away with soda machines in schools too. Like,
So that may have been the state. It may have been a state thing.
well, New York is talking about controlling. Like, rumor has it that limiting the amount of butter you can purchase.
Yeah.
I would talk about it more, but I don't want to spread it.
Fuck!
Oh man, that.
God, fuck! And you were getting me in a topic I'm interested in. I was getting riled up.
Yeah, as soon as you, well, I don't know if it was an authority. I was like, oh yeah, you don't know, do you?
You know, Bobby, that's right on the margin of being funny.
Oh god!
Anyway,
Oh my.
what else you got, Joe?
Great goddamn start to the week. Went to fucking Boston last week.
What is that?
Huh?
What is that?
You went where?
Boston?
What's that?
Oh, Boston?
Yeah.
Really?
You went to Boston last week?
Yeah. I drove up on Thursday and came back Friday.
For what?
Picked up a friend, Twitch friend.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a hell of a burn.
That's the thing. Like, I don't know. I know it's a long drive.
This is what, like
7.5,
7
8 hours.
and a half, 8 hours, and you just.
I did it in a straight shot. It was not a problem. And I'm like, is there something wrong with me?
No,
like,
I could do that too. For some reason, I was thinking it was longer than that. But
and, like, I went out
I'm
one day and I like stayed the night and then came back the next day.
So did you brought your friend back here?
Yeah, she's over there now.
Oh, nice.
One of the people I would keep plugging that has the podcast. So she's a Twitch friend, lives in Cali. She was in Boston for a business thing. Extended her stay for a week, so she come and hang out for a week.
That's great.
But yeah, I had a lobster roll there. It was expensive, but it was legit. And then just like, dude, it's a different vibe. We went to Concord.
I've never been to Boston. Like it's on my list of things like Boston, L.A.
But for you, it's different. You wanted to go to different parts. You don't want to go to the Boston market. You want to.
Well, I want to do that as well. I want to see it all,
I love their meatloaf sandwich.
Yes,
top to bottom. You know what I mean? Like what is it? MIT, Cambridge, whatever. It is. There's some big university there. I remember I used to want to go there.
I think it's MIT, right? Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
That sounds right.
I'll go with it.
Yeah,
I was never smart enough.
because I used to want to work on robots.
I was never smart enough to need to know what those letters meant.
Boston Dynamics is there.
Yes.
And you see the terrifying things they're creating every week.
Fucking lovely. Can't wait till they take over.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I just hope it doesn't walk like a dog when it takes over.
I love it. I can't wait till you take it over, Chris. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen.
I just love the response.
I got new technology I'll talk about, but it's scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, so went to the meeting, their business meeting, and where we stayed was at the town of Concord. It was like, I didn't know why it was such a big deal. It was like, looks like a historic town, like kind of like New Market, except nice.
Right.
And probably 100 years older.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
And I was like, and all the people there were like, looks like they have money. And well-to-do, and walking their little dogs, and the fucking chocolates are like $3.50 per piece, and shit like that. And there's a couple things. One is like, I wonder what makes little towns different, because I've been to little towns like same general shape in West Virginia. They're not the same.
No.
They're not the same.
No.
At the surface, they're the same. Yeah. What makes one place have all this money and one place don't? I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah,
because everyone was out and about, and I'm like, okay, there's these little shops where they sell really expensive stuff, but like, there's a whole town. Where's this money coming from?
Yeah,
there's a difference, right?
It's old money. That's the difference. That's old money. They don't have old money.
Well, the West Virginia thing that gets set up because some sort of operation
mining or
will
whatever
go into effect, and then when that operation is finished, it sucks all the money out of that town.
Right. And I can tell you that still goes. I mean, the business I'm in, I see those waves every week
for sure
from that kind of stuff.
That's why like I often sit here because I was on that Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia, like that documentary.
Yeah,
where those two hillbillies were we are West Virginia is the Africa of America. Companies come in here, they rape our natural resources, and then they roll out without leaving a fucking dime.
Damn. But I mean, old money. I guess old money just doesn't run out.
Well,
it just lasts forever.
It's generational wealth
because there's like no injection of money there that I can see. But I was sitting down. There's like a bunch of monuments and shit. I was just sitting down, taking a chill, people watching with Krista, and then like this tour.
So what time did you get there?
And Krista went with you too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Twitch friends.
Yeah, I didn't know that. If you, it's always easier to do a car ride like that if you have somebody with you.
Yeah, she got off at 3:30. We left and got there around 11:30
at night.
Yeah.
Okay.
And stayed the night, and then the next day we chilled for.
Hung out a bit. Okay.
Hung out before we're coming again, leaving around 3:30.
Okay.
Yeah. But so this tour group came by with a bunch of Asian people, and then the white lady telling them stuff. Apparently, that's like a big historic town of colonial history and revolutions, like Paul Revere and shit rides out from there, and Boston Tea Party takes place near there, and that was like a big stop for the whole fucking shebang back in the day. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now why people want to come here to a rickety ass hotel to have a international company meeting versus like the Gaylord or some shit.
Right.
Which is what I would do because I'm I don't know. I think it's maybe old white people thing. They like.
I think different people. I would rather be in a nice plush hotel also, but I think there are these people out there that are just like history buffs about one thing or the other, and like that shit means so much to them.
I think it's the name of it, like, because I don't know of being there, because like in the hotel, like the electric plugs weren't working right, and like people's laptops weren't working. The meeting was not going well,
right?
But like they were loving it, and I swear that place was fucking haunted.
I believe that.
Yeah,
but I'm all
well. If somewhere's going to be, it's
gonna be Concord, Massachusetts.
Well, just a lot of the East Coast of the United States.
Dude, one of the fucking meanest jokes I ever heard. Not mean. When I say mean, I mean it was mean, but it also was like, I mean, mean. That's just mean. Jokes I ever heard involved a ghost. This woman I knew, I know her still. She was like in her late 30s, right? She wasn't married, and she really wanted kids, and.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And she was getting ready to buy this house in Old Ellicott City, and like, I mean, this house is old.
The
like
flooding part,
like 1800s, you know, pre-Civil War, old. And my buddy Charlie, who I would love to get on here, but he's like not a nerd at all. It would be like when we were talking about. It's worthwhile to have a guest that either knows something about this shit or nothing about this shit, but nowhere in the middle.
Right.
He was like, what? He was like, you're gonna move into that fucking house, and that house is gonna be haunted, Miss Dude Charlie. And she was like, don't say that, because I won't be able to move. I won't be able to rest. I won't be able to relax at night. And he was like, but what if it was haunted by like a little baby ghost that you could hold and nurture,
bro?
Oh my god. Ooh. That is so fucked up on so many different levels.
That's far.
He used to fuck with her all the time. It was like she had a javelin accident, as one does.
Javelin and polo accidents.
So probably in the city you were in Boston, it's like, I'm about to call in today. I got in another javelin accident. Another javelin accident.
But anyway, she has this scar down her knee. It's like probably 13 inches long, this fucking scar. And it's like some Frankenstein shit. Like you can't not notice it, you know? And like I'm like, scars don't bother me. I'm into them. Like I feel like they tell a story, and you know, but every now and then, like it was a wicked one, you know, to look at. So, speaking of Boston, and every now and then, a dude Charlie would be like, "Hey, could I see that scar on your knee that no man would ever marry you for?"
Oh my god!
Oh my god! So where's this lady today?
She's actually married.
I was gonna say, she married with children.
She's actually married, and her husband had 2 boys.
Okay.
So she kind of got the...
But she didn't get her own.
No, she got married a little late, you know, and I don't know if... I mean, you know, modern science does crazy things. But.
Yeah, I mean, I see them. We have IVF stuff at work. Like,
yeah.
But you always come up with, like, 3 and 4 kids.
I thought you were going to say one with, like, 3 or 4 eyes.
No, I don't think it's Octomamas.
I'm like, how old were your parents when you were born?
Bro, I do think that's a thing, though.
Of course it is.
Like, cause
you ever seen the movie Idiocracy? That's literally
because like one of my bosses didn't have kids in his like 50s, and like his kids aren't right.
I mean, I knew a kid growing up, and like, I guess I still know the guy today I think his parents. Yeah, I think they were like 52, 53 when he was born. And he was okay, like from a, you know, everything's there standpoint, but just the way he was raised was so bizarre.
Oh, like
so
in a time. Yeah.
Like his dad wore the short sleeve jumpsuits with a little clasp belt. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, and he had a friend that was always over. They both wore those. They had a bunch of nice antique cars. Not nice antique cars, like a bunch of old cars.
Right.
But they were all drivers, but they weren't like show cars. I'm thinking maybe like the car Mr. Miyagi gave to Daniel-san. That's not a pro wrestler.
I feel like when I said that joke, you said my name like a 3rd grade guidance counselor, Bobby. So anyway, so all right, so it's during the day. You're in Boston. The meeting went horrible because the hotel is shit.
The mean streets of Boston.
It was more like a bread and breakfast, but like
right.
That's where you stayed at a bed.
It's called an inn.
Okay, so yeah.
Oh, the old inn.
Did they have breakfast?
Did they have an innkeeper?
I didn't. We got in at night and I got out left first thing in the morning. I didn't see nobody, but like it was right in the town circle.
Okay,
Not square, but like circle right in the middle, and it's like right fucking there.
gotcha.
But, yeah, it wasn't. Like, I think Thomas Jefferson lived around there, some shit like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude, that's got to be a special friend.
Why?
Because just driving to pick somebody up on a Humble at 8 hours, driving one way, and then 8 hours driving back the next day, like, I wouldn't do that for Joe Schmo.
I mean, we've known her for years.
Okay.
Even before Twitch.
Okay.
But
now things all.
But we never met. This is the first time we met in person.
person.
Yeah, like we knew each other online.
Right,
and
right,
became good friends through Twitch.
Gotcha.
There's no better way to get to know somebody
and also
than a 7-hour car ride.
Also,
Do you still like them?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great.
I'm just checking.
We're hanging out, but I don't know. I don't mind road trips. I think it's fun. We stop by a random place. I don't know where for dinner. An Italian place, fucking great. We'll never go back.
Yeah.
Didn't find it for a reason. We're just like, let's pull off and get food.
How's she?
That's the kind of things I like to do.
How's she getting home?
Flying?
BWI?
No.
Dulles?
Dulles, yeah.
Okay, but not like going back
She
to
asked.
Boston.
Oh no.
Oh,
man.
She asked. Oh, which one airport should I take? Like this, BWI at earlier or like middle of the night in Dulles? I'm like Dulles.
Yeah, I like BWI.
I don't have the only thing
much
I
prefer
don't like.
Dulles.
So I don't have a point of reference because I think I like BWI just because of what I know. I'm very comfortable there. I've never had a bad experience.
Well, IED, the Washington.
What?
Washington? The DC. No,
I've never.
awful.
Reagan.
Awful to get to.
The only thing I don't like about BWI is offsite parking. I
Exactly.
hate that part of
but
it.
I do. We do this shit now. Like there's a couple hotels around the BWI area where if you stay there, they provide a free shuttle for you to the airport and then back from your.
But still, you got luggages and shit. It's just a pain.
It's not. No, it's really not. It's really not. It's because we usually fly Spirit because we're so economic, Joe. So like we're
So he's just got on cargo pants and a hoodie, and he's got everything.
And he's thinking he might not make it back anyway,
Right,
so it doesn't
right,
matter where
right,
you park.
and my prayer book. I always take
and
my
your
prayer
prayer
book.
book,
And so you only allow like one suitcase a person any fucking way. So it's like, dude. I mean, I don't know. It's like we did it for the first time when we went to Chicago for Star Wars shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was fucking like it changed our life. Like we'll never not do that because
Never not do what?
like go the night before, stay at the hotel, have the like, but
Get your shit together.
But because of the kids, like organizing that circus, a lot of circus references today.
Yeah,
so
it
far.
is.
It's a clown.
More than
I'm gonna miss the monkeys. I ain't gonna miss the circus.
more than you know. Not my monkeys. Not my circus.
More,
Or maybe vice versa.
Yeah.
more shit. You motherfuckers say that would never will.
No, I might say I'm gonna miss the monkeys, but I'm not gonna miss the circus at one point in my life. But it'll be for a very specific reason.
Ask me how I'm doing, Joe. Ask me.
How you doing, Chris?
I mean, I'm hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit.
So I never heard that one.
It's the Alabama thing, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Ask me one more time.
How you doing now?
Man, if I was even better, I'd be twins.
Yeah,
I know you've heard that one a lot.
Yeah, or if I was any better, I'd be like a number of things, floating or like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's it for me. A little road trip.
I mean, that's cool though. I mean, and have you been to Boston before? I know you've been like everywhere.
a long time ago.
Yeah, man.
You know, I actually had a joke about road construction, but it's not done yet.
That's not bad. After that fucking
take
butter
that one.
bullshit, I'll
We'll
take that
one.
Motherfucking
Bobby, you and I
spread it.
had a misunderstanding last week that
Did we?
I could not explain in my head. We almost always record on Tuesdays in some capacity.
Yeah, Monday,
and last week
Tuesday.
we recorded on Wednesday. So when you said you were caught up on What If, I was very fucking confused.
Oh, that's why.
That's why I was like, what are you talking about?
So
I
I figured-
watched it when I got home. I'm like, oh, now I don't feel like one of us is a complete fucking idiot. Well, no more than usual.
Well, so here's the thing. I didn't know either, and I actually, I think it was Billings hit me up and was like, "When did you guys record this?" Because I think that shit just. Did you guys?
Yeah,
did
you watched it like the morning
Did
it
you guys
dropped.
do a midnight show?
That's what it was. So I watched that, and it's okay. I mean, I think I like it as a concept better than some of the other stuff. That the fourth wall's gone, so to speak.
Which one is refresh my
It's
memory?
the one where Ultron gets the gauntlet.
So Does this continue?
I think there's more.
Is there a part 2 of this one?
I think there's so in the trailer there's a scene where they show all of these what if characters circled up like the Avengers. So I'm thinking that it's gonna have an episode that drops which will be yesterday if you're listening, or tomorrow for us.
Let me see if it is.
That fucked me up for a second. I had to think about it.
It's a process, right?
It's not out yet.
I finished. I didn't finish. I beat the main story in Ghost of Tsushima. Great. That's such a great game. Now there's a ton of side missions and stuff. I'm working my way through those. And I didn't realize this. That game is based on historical events. There's no the character you played. None of that exists. But
Yes.
the Mongols did invade Japan actually twice in the 1200s. I read a lot about it. I fell in this huge rabbit hole and reading about it. I'm like, I want to watch a documentary.
It's kind of like
I'm sure there's plenty.
Oh, it seems fascinating because the Mongols, I guess it's the Chinese, right, or that part of China.
Why you gotta look at me when you say that shit?
Well, okay, I'll look at Bobby on this.
I'm pretty sure.
How about I just look at Psylocke and be really confused?
Yes,
Okay.
perfect.
Everybody's
perfect. Damn Mongolians. Come get my shitty popcorn.
I'm not allowed to make this kind of joke though, can't you?
So at this point, they had taken over
It's a great
Korea.
episode though.
Yes.
They had taken over Korea, so the Koreans were fighting with them, and basically both times the Mongols got their ass whooped and sent back home.
That's what happens every time. That's why they're
Yeah.
in that pocket between Russia and China. No one talks about them.
But
They were great, and then they're washed up now.
yeah.
Except they got those throat singer people.
What?
The Mongolian fucking metal band with the throat singing.
Oh, like death metal. I thought throat singing was.
Oh no, they
Something
do this
is-
I can't do it. But look up Mongolian throat singing metal
Now that
band.
you say that, my brother who does death metal music has showed me that before. Beautiful game. Some really kind of
I'll tear down your wall.
yeah.
Perfect. Where we get Buddy Booth, bro? You have so much material.
Cross
you can
genre.
have a mixed album of one of every genre song.
That's it. I claim the country hook.
So
to parallel Bobby's throat singing to this game, there's a very emotional decision you have to make. You played the game, right?
yeah.
So you got you have to end up fighting your uncle, and it's do you kill your uncle or do you not kill your uncle? And it's damn. I sat there for probably 10 minutes trying to decide.
That's all you know. It's a good fucking game, a
Yeah.
good story.
Yeah, so I'm really enjoying that.
So you more comfortable making Asian references now?
Do what now?
You more comfortable making Asian references
No,
now?
not really. But I did get some diorama ideas.
It is great. I
cool
mean,
shit in
it's
there.
in the same vein of all the Assassin's Creeds, or the older ones.
The older ones. Yeah.
That all took place around historic events and actual. That's why I love Assassin's Creed when it first came out. When they mapped actual cities to the real thing, and then when
Yeah.
you go up to a monument, it will actually give you the historic, whatever.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna work my way through that, doing all the it's you beat the main boss, but now you have to drive the rest of them out. It was pretty interesting. I don't know what you want to call it. The way they delivered you the information. You beat the main bad guy, and then the next scene you're meeting with one of your cohorts, and basically she's like, "Don't forget you started this shit over here. You need to go finish that, and don't forget this guy's over." So it's there's plenty left to do here,
And it's better than just a list
Yeah.
of shit to do.
and I think even after that, there's more gameplay after that because
It's open world. You can just go
but
fuck
this
around.
is the director's. The one I got was $10 or $15 more than a normal game
Oh,
because
yeah, I
it
don't
comes
know
with
about that
all.
stuff.
I think it's all the DLC stuff that's
Yeah.
just in it already. So, I really,
That's the way to do it.
I really regret getting that PS5 because of the amount of time I'm spending
I
on
need to
it.
hit you up.
Are you ready?
Do you serious? I wasn't sure if you were kidding
ready?
or I wasn't sure if you were kidding or you're just memeing.
Let me look into it. I mean,
If you-
I'm pretty serious. I mean,
Okay.
listen, from the.
I have money.
I figured the day I decided I wanted
He said,
one.
no, I wanted you to friend it to me and I'll pay you back
Bro,
later
do you know how
in
many-
installments of $1.99 per month for the rest of our
Or-
friendship.
Actually,
your
that
kidney.
works. That works. Or I'll just rent it to you for $100 a week. How's that?
Rent to own, bro.
I regret getting that because it's been such a time waster, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah,
So.
that's the thing with games, man. I feel bad. I've gotten into a couple mobile games lately, and I'm just dude, this is just sinking my time. I'm sitting there playing, enjoying it, and while feeling guilty, fuck, I should be doing something else. But I'm really having fun.
Yeah, so I get that way too when I get to play it, but then I often do have the voice too. It's like, you know what, you deserve
it. That's what I. So a lot of the time I'll say, all right, I don't know, I want to play PlayStation Day. It's like, okay, in my head I'm like, all right, you got to get these 3 things done. I almost feel like I'm rationing out my own time, but you get these 3 things done and just fucking sit and play your game all day.
It's like you're your own parent, because your parents would used to say that. They're like, all right, do your fucking chores and then you can play games.
Right.
So the things that white people say are just remembered because of something you just said.
Oh boy,
They make a list.
Put
Make a
it on.
shirt.
I got to that rabbit hole from the Drake shit from last week with like the things that Drake
so
says.
I've thought about that a lot.
yes.
So,
Drake type
I'll tell you,
up, dude.
I was in the shower this morning and I was shaving my head and I looked up and I got water in my nose and I grabbed it and for some reason I immediately thought like Drake's kind of guy holds his nose when he gets underwater.
That shit was
It's like as soon as like, God damn it, Bobby.
So 2 other ones I saw was Drake's the type to, before he reached for a donut, say, you know what, I've been good all week.
yeah.
And this other one was Drake's the type of guy that when he snores, he goes, me, 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 me.
Oh man, you could go on all day. It's like the reverse of the Chuck Norris meme.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Drake's kind of guy lets his baby rock him to sleep. So and this is a humble brag, but get ready, guys. I figure I was one of the first people in America outside of free previews to see Venom Let There Be Carnage.
Oh, really?
We went at 4:00 on Thursday and saw that.
Dude, that's gonna be like, I'm making an award for that.
You should. So it's definitely an achievement.
Achievement unlocked. Trophy.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was probably one of the most fun romps I've had in a while. I thought it was much better than the first movie. And I got to thinking. I think there was a villain, the Life Foundation or whatever. But like the other symbiotes, they were just, for the most part, just all you saw was the symbiote. And having Woody Harrelson attached to this, character, and you build that character as well as the Carnage character.
I mean, I think that was a
very
draw.
well.
That's the only thing in the movie. It's like, oh, it's got Woody Harrelson. That's Carnage. I'm like,
yeah.
Cassidy? Is it the same character from the comic?
Yeah.
Okay. The insane guy.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Like, that's the only reason to watch.
And then there's, I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
That's pretty good.
That's
a B.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
If it needs to be a B, I'm not gonna.
I mean,
argue
I just
with
want
it.
a letter grade. That's the only way. That's the only way I know.
So I give it a C plus. If
C
it was
plus.
a letter.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes
so,
sense. Better than average.
Yeah, and I don't know. Have you been spoiled by the after credit scene?
No.
Oh, then I won't.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go
Okay.
ahead. Yeah.
Spoilers. Anybody? Counting down from 99.
Oh,
98,
call back.
97.
All right, the mid-credit scene at the end of the movie, Venom and Eddie, they run on. They basically get the fuck out of Dodge, and they're in somewhere tropical. They're laying in bed. They're laying on the bed. It sounds so strange, talking to each other, and Venom says something like, talking about secrets or
They're
something.
separated?
No. They're.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to explain.
I just wanted to be clear.
I think the head may be up here talking to him.
Okay.
And he says something along the lines of, if you knew a billionth of the information I knew, you would blow your mind. You couldn't handle it. He's like, oh, yeah, try me. He does something. Everything kind of flashes. All of a sudden, the room's a little different. There's like a duck towel folded. J. Jonah Jameson's on the TV talking about he knows who Spider-Man is. Venom, he turns into full Venom, and he looks. I don't remember exactly what it says, but basically he licks the TV screen and says something about that Spider-Man. So, there you go.
I hate that. I'll tell you
Really?
why.
Okay.
Because...
And it could have been my explanation of that too.
No.
It's not great.
No. It's not the explanation. I don't like the idea of Venom, this Venom, being in that world.
In the spider, so that's going to be the problem here. Is what world are you talking about?
Okay, so they're saying that they're not. It's saying that this is a different universe that the Spider-Man is in.
I would imagine that. I'm assuming whatever happened right then was influenced by what Doctor Strange is going to be doing in the Spider-Man movie.
Venom to me is useless unless he has the connection to Peter Parker.
Originally, before Eddie.
And my problem with this Venom has always been that the character doesn't mean anything because it's just a man and a monster.
Yeah, it's just...
So
It's just Eddie Brock name.
something he says in this movie lends to the fact that they don't have they're not a symbiote they're not like the Borg. They're not all thinking the same thing. But it's like all their memories are in the cloud and they can all access all
the
their
Venoms.
memories. So what if what if
that's
what if the
cool.
Topher Grace Venom?
I don't even know who that is.
Okay, Spider-Man 3
3.
Venom.
Oh.
What if
okay.
Spider-Man 3 Venom has uploaded, that's Peter Parker, and he recognizes the spider suit? I think it's going to play into this whole Spider-Man, Doctor Strange thing.
Hopefully it's great.
And it may just be that it's just an alternate universe for this, or maybe that's is he the Venom from the, who's the guy, the Garfield universe? What if he's
we don't
in
know
that?
Yeah.
There's so many variables here.
Okay, maybe I'm not well versed on the current lore of Venom.
Oh, you mean
back in the
like
day,
Fast and
it was
Furious,
always exactly. It was always like a feral, animalistic thing.
Sure.
Right. It was just like
We are Venom.
it was just a creature.
Yeah.
Like that's
A monster.
an instinctual creature that is not super intelligent, but like sentient enough.
Sure.
Especially when it's bonded to somebody. But like this sounds like a whole alien race situation where it's like super intelligent and like why doesn't it just take over people?
Yeah.
Like,
and it has a lot of wisecracking going on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Deadpool of
Right.
Venoms.
And
so like I don't
I don't know how much of the actual comic book function is left in this.
And you know what? I don't know how Venom is today. You know,
I'm not well versed.
I haven't read
since, like anti-venom and all that shit.
I haven't read a book with Venom in it in forever. He might be the wisecracking. You know
no,
what I mean?
well, yeah, that's true. Last time I read something with Venom in it, it was Thunderbolts with Deadpool and Elektra and Red Hulk, and Flash was Venom. He had no legs. That was the last time.
Like the dude in Kids.
I have no legs.
Everybody
I have no legs.
I love it.
Bro, Kids was not a kids movie. I
At all.
definitely watched it too young.
NC-17.
Your mama's titty looking right, yo. Dude, I used to watch that all the time.
The way that dude talks is so funny.
Virgin. I love him.
When he's, yo, I like want to get her ass beat. Like,
Your face is perfect. It's just like that.
That's such a fucked up movie.
Casper,
the friendly ghost, the dopest ghost around.
What else? The guy who played Casper, what else was he in?
Next Friday?
Yes, he was.
But so yeah, I haven't watched the movie, so I would need to watch the movie to understand. But I have so many questions just from like hearing the descriptions of the movie, and
And I want to watch it.
it doesn't seem symbiotic relationship. If Venom is the creature, it seems to be
It almost seems like a possession.
it seems to be easily able to overpower a person.
Right. Well, I mean, there's a point in the story where Venom and Eddie get into a huge argument, and Venom he just basically wanders around and takes on other people. And I don't know if I think they die because I think like they're not eating. I don't know. There's something going on where he's not a match the way that Eddie is.
What about Venom? Some people get him, some people hit him.
I'm gonna tell you a funny story about that. So me and Mason went and saw this, and we joked pretty hard about Eminem. So at midnight, the day it dropped on that Thursday, Eminem posted, it's a song with him in it, but like apparently they paid promotion. He like the whole trailer was on his Instagram stories, and I said to Mason, I'm like, no fucking way.
Venom. Some people get him, some people him.
That's awful song.
And like and lastly, so like this symbiotes have like a cloud memory, and like
That's the best way to explain.
yeah, I mean
it.
I'm just saying like they're all linked somehow, and
Yeah.
through the multiverse apparently.
Apparently so. They're bigger
That
than
is
the multiverse, or they're
insanely powerful.
It's like a
for
web.
it to be just on some.
It's like
dude.
a web. It's like a worldwide web. but
Spider-Verse
it's-
kind of.
Yeah, but it covers the entire galaxy.
Web.
So I was pretty excited for the new Spider-Man movie coming out, and I think this was just a little sprinkle,
Little
something.
Don't dilute it too much is the problem.
Yeah.
Like you got to keep that shit tight.
I mean, and I hope Venom is not in that Spider-Man movie for any length of time other than maybe an interaction of some kind.
Well, like I don't know.
I can't even for them to fight.
Like if we do a Venom story with Spider-Man, specifically this Spider-Man, like you need to do the classic Spider-Man. You need to treat that shit like it's not one movie.
Right.
You know,
No, and I know what you're saying, and I don't think
it's like
this
2 or 3.
This Spider-Man movie is not that movie.
Right,
it can't be
right.
because they're telling this crazy,
too much other shit going on.
Crazy story.
But like if they did like, you know, I thought it would have been cool. You know, prior to Venom, some people get him, some people hit him coming out. I thought it would have been cool if when this motherfucker was going to space with Endgame and all that shit, that he came back with the black suit.
Yep.
It would be like, oh.
That would have been perfect.
Yeah,
but like I think all that is just licensing issue.
It is.
It's not a creative problem. It's not a writer's problem. It's like having to write in the parameters of licensing.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like they probably thought of that. They're like, oh, it'd been great if we could do it, but Sony has it.
You're probably right.
I mean, there's this multiverse thing. This could be the way they bring the X-Men in.
Dude,
I kind of hope it's not. But
I don't. If they do,
I mean, it's the way to bring everything in.
Yeah.
But I don't.
But like I said, it's going to be diluted like the comic book, which is. I like the movie because it was tight. It was all. I mean, yes, everything has plot holes, right? There's things here and there that gets lost lost along the way. But overall, it's a tight story that all goes together.
Which one?
Marvel Universe.
Okay. In general,
right? So like, introduction of multiverse is a great tool to do anything you want, but also it makes things not matter. Sometimes it's like, he died here, but he's alive over there, and then.
And the other thing you got to realize is this is, in my opinion, it's a one trick pony before it loses its magic.
Right.
So like you can't usually it's done because shit gets out of hand and you got to fix it all. Mm-hmm. But I don't really feel like shit's out of hand with the Marvel universe. So like it seems weird to do it now for me.
I think the reason they're doing it is because they don't have Captain America and they don't have Iron Man,
and they bring X-Men, Fantastic Four.
They've got to find a way to bring all this stuff
Fantastic
together.
Four's coming.
Well, this has definitely got to be a 2-trick pony because Doctor Strange's movie is also it's called the Multiverse of Madness. So.
No, that's not what I mean. Let me. Okay. So like, if we introduce the multiverse now,
right,
and the multiverse becomes a theme,
yes.
Once that theme concludes, you can't keep bringing it up every time there's an issue.
Right.
Well, the problem is it doesn't conclude. That's the also
if
a problem.
If it doesn't conclude,
it's also an issue with me.
Yes. You have to either slam it together. You know, there's only 2 options. You set the rules where you slam it together, or you set the rules where now because of this thing, no one can travel between multiverses anymore.
Right. Because like it was a thing with the Loki show, right? Like it was people keeping that shit in check,
right?
And now it's out of place,
right?
So like, it's cool. Multiverse is cool.
Yeah,
get some shit in, put your house in order, and then fucking put that timeline back in order.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
There's an article up today. Well, by the time you hear this, on SourceHorseman.com, the official 4 Horsemen website, about Crashbox and us building the environments for the Cosmic Legions stuff. So looks like.
Let me ask you a question, a personal question, if I can.
Absolutely.
Is there any? I mean, you're obviously you're a free spirit. You're not chained down.
Not chained down to anything.
You're free. But is there any? Do you ever detect any weird vibes between different companies, knowing that you've worked with? You know what I mean? Like put on like, oh no, you're the so and so guy now. No, you're the barnyard animal guy now.
Right.
No, you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like
right. No, I haven't.
Well, that's good.
Which strangely enough, there's a.
It would be stupid if it was because no one's tied you down.
Well, I'm not contract. Nobody's paying me on a contract. No. It's funny you say that. Mezco had a. Not con over they did some reveals in contests and stuff, and they revealed a Doctor Doom figure that the 4 Horsemen designed. Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. When worlds collide, Joe.
Yeah, Multiverse of Madness, bro.
It is. It's the Multiverse of Madness. No, but I could see what you're saying, you know. But I try to keep the style where it's not just so confined where it wouldn't work with.
Yeah, no.
Everything.
I think that it's obvious, you know, like that these are very specific things for these very specific worlds, and
right.
You know, like your Justice League tower thing that you built doesn't make sense for fucking, you know, goblins to be on.
Sure, exactly,
you know?
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. I had something else on that, but
my bad.
I don't know. No, it's fine. But if you want to check that out,
if some company wants to put you on retainer, would you be willing to entertain that deal, or are you too free spirited for that kind of shit?
I would entertain. Crashbox is entertaining any and all
the
contract.
business would be right.
Right, and that's what I'd have to see. Is like, well, I've got 3 people here that
I mean, I just don't know if you want to be tied down to.
That's
one
the thing. Is like, is
company
it an exclusive contract? Can I not do work for anyone else? Can I not do my own stuff? Well, then here's the dollar amount for the year, and you tell me, what you want.
I mean, because part of the fun for you is you get to design whatever you want and as many genres as you want,
and part of the income.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like your creative outlet versus like, are you making fucking space shit this whole year and nothing else?
Right.
Like, I don't know if you're cool with that.
I've got.
I would have just hit one right there for you, the dolphin. If I'm just practicing.
We have some new Nerd Rage equipment coming.
Yeah.
So
after a few years.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll. I'm sure it'll elevate everything a little bit.
This old girl's held up though. All right.
I mean, it's been great. It's been what 3-4 years.
Yeah, and for it was 350, I think.
Yeah, dude, for not having to talk into the side of mics. That was a mic.
Yeah, remember that
chasing
era?
the mics around. Hello. It made no. Still don't understand.
We painted.
Yeah, the squares.
Painted this, for those listening, the old mics that we had were like sensitive in certain spots and not others. So we took a blue paintbrush with blue paint and painted squares on the mic so you would know where to talk. But then the problem is that people would get on here and do all this shit and they would spin the foam thing, and then you had to find it again. And
yeah,
I remember when we didn't have any of this shit.
Yeah, I mean it was like, how are we doing it at first?
Adam had a duffel bag with a laptop in it.
Yeah,
we never knew. We just plugged stuff in.
And we had the blue mics, and then
they made the blue mics. And we had the armatures for a bit.
At one point,
that was at Adam's house. Like, and contrary to what he thought, I always enjoyed recording over there and Adam's basement because
there's good vibes over there.
It's not that for me. I'm just gonna be honest. Because I never got good vibes from that room. I always enjoyed that other, like, where the couch
room.
Yeah, but that's not where we recorded in that one room that like
right
he never really figured out what to do with it. It was always just like
that one blue guy on the wall.
Yes. But I'm just freer in other people's spaces because I'm like, I'm not responsible for any of this shit. I can just be a monster, like in a way, like I'm just unchained, and I always got that energy over there. And then I remember when we got this set up and we tried to do it with. At first, we tried to do it with armatures, but it was too much shit. It was like an octopus sitting in the middle of the fucking floor.
The only way that would work in here is if you got mounted.
And we talked about that too. Like,
we talked about mounting a screen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And then like sometimes some remote like just like the fucking screen would come down. Like it would work for fucking 2 days for me, and then it would break and it would never be right. And it would be on 2 armatures, and the armatures would be offset, and it would crack the fucking monitor. Like, that's my luck with shit like that. But and then we got this set up with this, which has been pretty consistent. But then we had mic ports start failing, and then now we have a new mixer coming in, and then the next thing I'm going to work on is I think a portable podcast thing that I would actually like to get before TFCon
Roadshow,
but I don't know if that's going to be possible or not. And then the next thing I'm going to get is upgrade all of our mics and get proper headphones so that everything is. It's
going to be fancy.
Yeah, so I'm working.
A couple things. We've got the shop closed. All orders are fulfilled. Everything's shipped. So we're taking a little bit of a break from the business, but at the same time, I'm designing. I've got some stuff.
Some Asian pagodas?
No, I haven't started any of that stuff yet. I got some outside the box stuff. Mythic Con, is that what they're calling it?
Cystic, I believe.
Legions Con.
Legions are in space now.
Cystic Legions.
It's in November. I think it's 6 weeks away. So we are doing that show. So we're gonna have stuff on display. I have my mind on a exclusive piece I want to do for that. So, and it's also cool because now I can show space shit there and the medieval style because the direction they're going with this new line. So, anyways, that interview's it's on Source Horseman if anybody wants to check it out.
Yeah, man, for sure.
And then Saturday, I spent I think 7 hours at a car dealership.
Dude, it's the worst. It's the
Why
worst.
so long?
It's the worst. It's hard not to. It's hard to get into a car dealership and get out, and I feel like in under 4 hours.
So there was a couple things playing against us here. Like one of the 2 people that run that, you have to sit with the finance person, even if you,
they
only had one person there on the Saturday. And the salesman said it was twice as busy as it has been. The vehicle we bought When we got there, we knew what we wanted. We got it's a Volkswagen Atlas.
I was gonna say, like, usually that's half the battle, knowing exactly what you want and just going to pick it up. I know it still takes 2-3 hours, but it shouldn't take fucking 7.
We had two vehicles in mind that we wanted to look at: the Hyundai Palisade and the this VW Atlas. We went and ate at this breakfast spot. I can't remember the name of it, but they have this. They call it the Curious George French Toast. It's got like bananas and almonds and caramel, and it's an amazing,
sounds great,
amazing dish.
Where is this?
Ellicott City-ish.
Ellicott City.
I tell you, there's a lot of good restaurants in like Columbia and Ellicott City.
And it's in like you would never think it's here. It looks like you're turning into like where all the business people that like an industrial complex for business. It doesn't even seem like, but it was great. So I had planned to go to these couple dealerships based on what their inventory online says. So we're just sitting in the parking lot. Well, let me just see. It was like, well, there's a place that's like 2 miles away. There's a Volkswagen. So we go there and, we see these things. I'm like, okay, I never know how big a vehicle is. I mean, you can read, it's this many feet long. Until I'm standing next to it. And obviously that's important to me. I need to be able to fit in something.
Yeah.
These teeth are getting longer and longer, Bobby.
And the tendon's getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah, my back's getting more and more crooked every day.
It's fucking hunchback.
Just from sitting on stools. Just kidding. We sit on stools here that are very comfortable.
We can upgrade the stools after that too if you want.
Man, look out.
But it's trying to find something that works.
I know.
We just got these last year, didn't we?
No, it's been a couple years now.
Wow, time flies.
So there was this particular color I want, and I don't know exact color. I call it creamy gray. So you see, it's on a lot of cars. I don't know how to describe it, but would you say?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like the color of gray mayonnaise. I mean, I don't know.
What the fuck are you eating gray mayonnaise from? What the fuck?
I'm not.
That stuff's too spicy for me.
But so we wanted this particular color, and it comes. There's two levels of this vehicle. There's a standard version that's a three rows of seats, which we decided at our age and where we are in life, we don't need to haul that many people that often.
You need more like just luggage space.
Right. So the Cross Sport, I believe it is what we got. It doesn't have a third row. It's got a little bit more styling towards the back. And we were looking at these, and there was one in particular, like, whoa, that one's awesome. It was the totally loaded, top of the line, everything. Well, this just sold. Like, well, can we still look at it? Yeah, we looked at it and, looked in the trunk, and like there's like work boots. Somebody shitted. Like the dudes bought it. Like, oh, okay.
It's already in it.
And there's a hand.
While we're standing there, so the other salesman walks up, is like, oh yeah, the deal fell through. This is available.
No
like,
shit.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Wow.
And we had driven like a.
Do you believe in like signs from the universe and shit?
Definitely.
So I do too. Like, that would have been like the sealer for me. I'd have been like, God wants me to
definitely. So we had test drove.
Of course, you think that
because I'm simpleton.
We had driven a base. I'm not gonna say it was a base model, but probably closer to the bottom of their trim levels. From an engine standpoint, it was the same. But, we both liked the way it drove, came back, and we were going to work on that one. They're like, well, this one, long story short, the most money that I have ever spent outside of a home is sitting outside right now.
Nice.
And if you told me I was going to buy a Volkswagen at any point in my life, but
you're getting old.
Well, the amount of the amenities that come on that for the price versus to get that same amenity level on a Ford or a Chevy, it's just not going to happen. So, it just fits us well for what we need.
Yeah.
In several aspects. But, yeah, that was I'm glad we went and ate that big French toast breakfast because I didn't eat again until like 5 or 6 that
That's
day.
fucking crazy.
And we traded in. I'm sorry, we traded in my car. But it's different here in Maryland. Maryland, I guess they give you a title because you don't get a title in Alabama until you've paid it off. So here, and we totally didn't think about that, and we didn't bring a check because we gave him a down payment. The dude came to our house in the car. He's like, I got your car up to 110. Young guy that was like, you did? He's like, yeah. And then somebody passed me. I'm like, what? So he came to the house and got the stuff from us, and
Nice.
Yeah, it needed to be done. It was a business decision for the household, really.
I'll never forget getting Laura's Explorer. Like, I had diarrhea. It was awful. Like, I was in terrible shape. I was dehydrated, and I don't shit in public places. So the whole time I'm just sitting there like squirming, and then like I'm like I hadn't eaten anything because I hadn't felt right, and then once again, like I started feeling better, and I went over and I got a slice of pizza from like the mall because we got it down by the like Wheaton, like the down by that spot. You know where the mall is around, so it was right around there. So I went over there and got a slice of pizza, and I came back. And they were doing the warranty talk when they try to get you to buy all the extra shit.
Yeah.
You want to
whole package.
You want to come by and get a vacuum? You can get a vacuum every time you want. You just pay $24 a month, and you bring it by, and we give you a vacuum.
You know, I'm like, no, I can vacuum it at home, dude. Stop. But yeah, the rap. He tried to get me on the rap.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that shit. He kept circling the whole car. You get this coverage, it covers everything. We call it the wrap. It covers everything. Just kept circling the car, and I was like, "Wait, I don't understand." I took the paper from him, and I was like, "Are you saying it's a wrap?" And I wrote down RAP with a question mark. And
that's why you were there for 7 hours.
And he kept looking at me like I was like I didn't understand. Like I was like, you know what I mean? And I was looking at him like I didn't understand. And then he was like, "No, like you wrap up the whole car." And my wife was like, "He's fucking with you. Leave him alone."
So we
Did you get the wrap?
They told us.
By the way, we got the wrap. The first issue that we had with the car wasn't covered in it. Swear to God.
Oh, okay. So
that shit is like strategy, bro.
The
They
dollar-
know exactly.
I was like, that motherfucker circled the car. The shit's in the car.
Yeah.
It's not sitting on the side of the road somewhere. It's in the car. Fix it.
the first time they showed us, like, they bring you a price sheet based on some horrible credit, I guess. And I'll be honest, I don't keep up with my credit. I just pay the bills when they come.
Yeah.
I'm in that 800 club, Mac.
Yeah. Well, we were both in the 700 club, not that 700 club. But I'll be honest, I was like, well, okay. I guess, you know, it's not perfect, but 700 is not bad.
No, it's good.
It's a benchmark.
800. The first time we ever got it was this year.
Mm-hmm.
We'd never been in it before.
Yeah. I don't even ever look at it, if I'm being honest. Probably not a good look. But nonetheless, so the dollar amount they showed us on the paper, we're like, okay, we can do that. That's fine. And we get in there, and she gives us the whole package deal, and it's like less than what we had agreed to out at the desk. I'm like, okay. Well,
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's do it. So we've got...
Where do I sign?
This
makes it official, right?
Extended warranty after the... we bought everything. So we've
got
to
call you about the extended warranty.
We've got to take it back. And yeah, somebody calls me like, I bought that motherfucker from so-and-so Volkswagen.
You can
get call them right now.
You can go get it vacuumed anytime you want.
Oh, yeah. It's, it's 45 minutes here. It's in Catonsville.
Well, anytime you go get French toast, you can stop by to get it
dude,
back.
that's right. That's the move.
Andy,
the
you
French
remember...
toast. Yeah.
Do you remember Chef Paolino's at the mall back in the day? You remember there used to be 2 food courts at the mall?
Yes.
So Chef Paolino's was in the small food court.
Okay.
It was good ass pizza. Like this dude was like right off the boat, but like
I mean that's why it's good.
Yeah, but it was good. And then like when they shut down that section, he never came back. Turns out he went to Catonsville and he's had a spot there the whole time.
Oh shit.
So if you're ever there, check out Chef Paolino's. Like that's like a old staple.
Nice.
And he used to sell coke at that place too. I'm 100% sure of it.
Oh man.
I mean that's how you know it's good pizza, right?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think
fresh off the boat, sells coke and pizza. Pizza's great.
I don't think he sprinkled any on the pizza.
Hey, wait a minute. Build the booth. Fresh off the boat, deals coke and pizza.
Hey.
Bobby had an opportunity to sit in the car with me just for a minute this morning.
No big deal.
The technology that's now available in automobiles is amazing. I can imagine a person a generation older than me being like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
There's a lot of buttons and screens.
I think at a certain point there's going to be like people are going to age out of being able to drive modern vehicles because
I'm a
lot
worried myself about some of that shit because like there's certain things that like I don't trust. Like I don't trust digital shit to hold up. You know, like I know when I stick the key in the ignition and I turn it, if it doesn't start, there's a mechanical issue,
right?
And it's not an electronic issue.
So a big selling point of this whole upgrade package was it protects all the electronic shit.
Oh yeah, see that's how they get
you. She's like,
you.
well, yeah.
I would be like, I want you to cut your fucking palm and give me a bloody palm print on this that you swear on your mother's eyes.
I told the salesman, so he was pitching that, they do the paint coating treatment or whatever. I said, if this is so good, why don't Volkswagen just do it from the factory?
Yeah.
It's like, that's a good point. Yeah. But it's still... So, anyways...
Eventually they will. Just like you can't get crank windows anymore.
Right.
It's just not. It's not an option. You just have electric windows.
You'd think.
I wonder if there's going to be kids who like, well, kids now who's grown up who doesn't know about the crank window.
I mean, my kids never been in a phone booth. Never used a payphone.
Yeah, mine either.
1-800-COLLECT. They wouldn't even know what to do there.
So like Superman changing in his phone booth doesn't make sense for them.
It
It's like,
doesn't.
why is there a fucking room a closet in the middle of the fucking city for him
That's
to change
right.
into?
That's true.
That's right.
That's true.
I had,
Doctor Who.
Oh yeah.
yeah. So the car market right now is just so fucked up between chip shortages and the price of used car. Like I figured you would have been like, should have gone to CarMax, Mac.
Well,
So I was waiting.
That's the way to go.
But right now,
no argument. Just that's the price.
Yep.
and that may be worth it just then. But used car prices right now are stupid. Like,
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
There was a vehicle on there that we were interested in, and I looked at it and was like, that's higher than like
Higher than
over.
MSRP.
I don't even care about
It's like third party.
I don't go to CarMax for the deals.
Right, it's the convenience.
It's that they.
but we looked and there was just nothing.
There's no haggling, and like if there's an issue, they deal with it. Like it's like it's not the same. Like anything that I've had issue wise with my Civic versus the Explorer, which we got at a dealership. I don't know why, but I just thought you were brushing your hair, like pulled out a brush out of nowhere. And it was like shh, shh. But it's been 100% of a nightmare at the dealership, and it's been easy peasy lemon squeezy at fucking CarMax. Like, and I got if I bought a car that was worth. I mean, I didn't. I bought a Civic. I bought an economic car. Like
Sure.
it was a tactical thing, not a style thing. If I were to ever buy a style thing from CarMax, like first thing I do is figure out how to get that fucking shit off the back of my car because I'm not selling car. I'm not
Yes.
advertising.
Every vehicle I've ever bought, as soon as I got it to where it was mine, that fucking plate or that sticker, it comes off.
Yeah.
because
They usually
I'm not
ask you.
advertising.
Yeah, my dad used to get pissed. He would be like, "How much are you paying me a month for that?" Then take it off. I'm not driving it off the lot with that on there. I won't buy it.
So I only shop at Fitzgerald's car shopping wise. Since I went there like once, like fucking 15 years ago, or some shit. Like it's the same thing. They don't haggle. It's like the price is the price, and it's been a great experience. And the shop has been great. I always go.
Oh, that's
there
great. That's
to
great.
take it care of in case anyone's looking for a good dealership. And like every time I buy a car, they ask if you want to take that shit off, and I'm always like, yeah. It's like it's part of their routine.
I'll tell you, I think the days right now, there's not a lot of haggling going on because while we were doing our process to get that, 2 other people came up and tried to get the keys to go test drive it, and the one we test drove before,
you took it from somebody else.
Somebody, right? That's what I'm saying. So, like Bobby said, signs of the universe. But it's crazy. Everybody's marking everything up. I think this had $2,500 inflation on it.
Supply and
but
demand,
if
right?
you traded in, they took that off basically. They took $2,000 off of it.
Right.
The only haggling we did is we asked for 500 more on our trade, and they gave it to us. The sales manager comes over and he sits down all smug. This is what he does. He's
Punch
like,
me in the throat, bro.
Yeah, I know, dude.
he's like, I don't have to come over here and tell you guys, what's going on with the world right now, but I just wanted to come over and tell you I can do 500 more in your trade. I'm like, you smug motherfucker, you really enjoy this, don't you?
Did you call him out?
No, I didn't. I was just like, okay.
Thank you, my lord.
Oh, thank you. Let me kiss you a ring. Let me kiss your Volkswagen ring.
Floating space.
Anyways, that's
It's one of the reasons I could never be a salesman, just because I've been dealt with so many salesmen in my life that I'm not going to be that guy. It's just not going to be me.
Yeah.
yeah,
Is that it for you?
yeah.
All
That's
right.
it for me.
Let me pull up what I got. Mine is just mainly just a bunch of little stories, but so I started watching The Sopranos.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry, guys.
Do you need
Does
to
that work?
Real quick.
Yep. So I decorated for Halloween. We decorated for Halloween. I'm not sure if you saw it. I don't think you did, but Batman got a new edition this year. We always try to get him involved in the festivities. This quarter scale Batman that Joe got for me, he's like part of the family. Like he gets a Christmas decoration, he gets an Easter decoration, he's always part of the vibes.
the Santa hat.
So he has the pumpkin lights on him, which he normally has, and then now he also has a spider sitting on the stonework
On his parents' graves.
yes. Okay, so let's see what else. I wrote in here, I owe Joe money.
Owe me money.
I do for that paint stuff. So just give me that.
I owe you money as well.
So it's just a reminder because I keep forgetting.
I totally forgot
How about
the
we just
airbrush
forget
stuff.
about it? And it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, mine was a lot of stuff.
It wasn't.
I think. Well, like we'll talk. So I wrote down something as a
I
kid.
still owe you a pizza pan,
Do you?
and that shit is expensive. Remember, you gave me a deep dish, and then like I was an idiot, and I like scratched it because I was like cutting the pizza,
Oh.
and then like I fucking I'm like, well,
we'll call it even then. If that's expensive, I don't even know how much.
I don't know how much. I assume it's expensive because it was a nice ass pen.
I don't know. I didn't even.
I was trying to find an exact replacement.
I completely forgot about that. So, all right. Friday night. I talk about this a little bit on Line G, so I'm not gonna go deep into it. But Friday night, this past Friday, I was in a good fucking mood. Like I got all my work done I need to get done. Like I was fucking in the zone. I was like, man, the kids are gonna get home from school, so like I cleaned up the kitchen for them. I set plates out. Mom was coming home with pizza. You know what I mean? Like I got music going. Like I wanted them to come into like a good vibe. And as soon as they came in, the younger two, Jana's already been there while I was cleaning up and stuff. As soon as they get in, they're like, "Can I go outside and play with Avery?" And I said no. I was like, no. And then my voice said, "Yes, they can." Inside my head, it said, "Yes, they can." And I said, "Yes, you can. You can. Just when you see mom's, when you see mother's car, come inside."
Yeah.
So I was just sitting there looking at like the empty plates and shit, like the empty seats, the music's still going. I can see them through the window outside playing. Jana came down to the landing apparently during this. I didn't see her, and then went back upstairs. And when she came down later, she said, "I felt so much pity, I couldn't even look at him."
Bro, this is just a sign of things to come.
I know. So that can, once your name, it's got your name written on it today.
Yeah, bro.
So the other thing, Jana cussed at school.
Oh, we just talked about cussing last week.
Yep. So she just cussed at school.
What'd you say?
Shit.
Oh.
Loud enough for a teacher to hear it?
Yeah, I think the teacher was relatively close, but like she had a work sheet that she was supposed to do, and she did it. And then she got it checked off, and she threw it away. But apparently, you needed to come back to it to do something else with it. And she was looking through her backpack, and she was like, "Shit." And the teacher like came over and was like, "Did you just say a curse word?" And she was like, "Yes." It's because of the paper. He was like, "I'm disappointed. I'm not going to tell your parents this time, but I'm really disappointed." And walked away.
Fucking stupid, pretentious piece of shit. I'll fucking cuss him out.
But Jana felt bad because Jana actually really likes this teacher. Like he's pretty kind to her and stuff. So she did feel like she let him down. But she was like, but there was also a part of me that was like, you know what? Maybe you should tell my parents just to really make sure I learn my lesson.
That's funny. I had an art teacher. If she caught you cussing, you were out of the class. Like
wow.
she not the day. She like you had to go to remedial PE or some shit. And I said something one day, and she's like, "What did you say, Chris?" And I was like, "He said something similar." I'm like, "Well, thank you for covering me."
So
Can't stand those people.
I started watching The Sopranos.
Oh, with the kid.
Yeah.
The previews keep popping up on my goddamn feed.
Mainly because Kelly says she has no interest in watching it. I'm like, well, then I'll watch it without you. Just got to find time to do it.
Yeah, so I watched the first half of it and fell asleep. But I'll be honest with you, I wasn't overly impressed with the first half. I wasn't anti. I wasn't like, this is awful. But I was also like, I don't know how this. I don't even know if I feel like I'm like 40 minutes maybe invested into it, and I don't even know what the story is.
Oh wow!
But
I thought it was just like an origin story.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I didn't even know like, all right, who are the players? Who's the antagonist? The protagonist? What's the drama? What's the point? You know what I mean? But I might need to give it a little bit of a close. I'm gonna rewatch it, and probably today. But it didn't knock my socks off.
Yeah, I've got it on my short list of things to watch. I just have to not play video games for 2 hours to watch it.
Have you heard anybody talk about it? I haven't.
I've seen people post that they're watching it, but I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything at all.
I watched. So we've been watching the Disney movies to get in the zone for and like a couple things have been interesting about this process because we've been watching a lot, right? And like, Jana's like a big Disney fan, but she hates to admit it because she likes like every fucking movie, and she like because like there's an era of Disney that you like that I don't like. Like I don't want
Aladdin and
Aladdin
and Lion King, Beauty and Beast.
I like Lion King, but I don't like Aladdin. I like that era. I don't like Aladdin. 90s. I don't like Little Mermaid. I don't like.
I hate Little Mermaid. Fucking first world problem. Little piece of shit.
I don't like what's the other one? Beauty and the Beast.
Favorite.
So you don't like all the movies that made Disney the money so they could buy Star Wars?
yeah. Ironically, like that. So I don't like
And
that.
Marvel?
And I'm not. I'm not crazy about the beginning era of Disney either.
Sleeping Beauty,
like
Snow
Sleeping
White.
Beauty, Snow White, that kind of stuff.
I'm okay with those.
I like Dumbo was one of the first ones. Also, I like the I like that 70s shit, man. Like I like that, like Robin Hood and Jungle Book, and like that's my pocket, right? Lady and the Tramp, like that's my pocket.
I guess as a child, I did not. Probably till a little bit older than that. I didn't realize the year spread that shit was from like Snow White was in the 1940s to like the 70s with Robin Hood and stuff.
Yeah,
that's a straw, Bobby.
But anyway, that's funny. If you had to be here, but Jane is like enjoying all of it, and like it's interesting. It's like it's somewhat heartwarming that like I'm sitting there. We watched Mr. Toad, another 70s one.
I don't
The
know
Adventures of Mr. Toad, man, that fucking shit is fucking awesome. But it was like a 2-part. It was Ichabod and a Sleepy Hollow shit, and then the Wild Adventures of Mr. Toad. It was like Wind of the Willows and Sleepy Hollow, right? Like it was like 45 minutes and then 45 minutes or whatever it was. And a couple things about it. I didn't like the Sleepy Hollow one as a kid. Like I liked the Headless Horseman part, but it's such a small part.
Yeah.
Like I always thought it was boring as
fuck.
fuck.
Ichabod's such a doof in that.
Yeah, and when I was watching it this time, I was like, I'm gonna watch this with 40-year-old eyes. Maybe it wasn't necessarily a kid's cartoon, and it's awful. It's fucking awful. But Mr. Toad, that shit still holds up, and like I even like it a bit better now because I didn't realize just how manic he was.
I don't even remember that right off the top of my head.
That one.
So I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember it.
So you start off with Mr. Toad and Cyril, his horse, and they're like going down the street, and they almost get ran off the road by a motor vehicle, which is like one of the G1 motor vehicles,
Model T kind of.
And he's like, "What the fuck is that?" And it's like, "It's a motor car," and he's like, "Motor car," and he just becomes obsessed. He becomes so obsessed that he signs away his house to buy this motor car. Like, so it goes through this whole thing, and it's actually like this swindler that's behind it to get the house, and he takes the house with the weasels, like where Roger Rabbit weasels come from, like, and they're all like thugs that work for this fucking gangster, and they take over.
Oh, that's why you like this shit.
They take over Toad Hall. Well, I've always liked the weasels. I just like their hats and shit. They just look fucking cool. And then Badger and Moley and Ratty are trying to.
Did the Masters of the Universe writers name these guys?
I think it's just Rat. Rat is just Rat, but Moley, and he's like the cute, like soft heart, like wants everybody to be okay one, and then Badger's like the old man, and Ratty's like the one that lives by the rules. So it's funny while we're watching it. They said that I was Mr. Toad. Like he gets obsessed with one fucking thing, and then he just can't let it go. And I was like, well, Janie, you're Ratty. And she was like, I am. And you know what? He's the sensible one. He's the only so then like,
what's up?
And then she's like, we're going through and like Selena's like, I think I'm more like Mole, like all this, and then Laura was like, I'm the horse, just carrying everybody around.
well.
So anyway, but so then at the end, like he gets Toad Hall back, and the day is saved, and blah blah blah, and then they're like all celebrating, and then they're like, "Where's Toad? Where's Toad?" And he's like, he's in an airplane, like you know what I mean, and he's flying off into the distance, like he's discovered an airplane now. Like now he's fucked the car, he's obsessed with this now, and he's on to this, and like I never really picked that up before as a kid. It was just like the drama of the house, who the house belonged to.
Yeah.
But it's all about
his personality.
It's all about hobby hyperfixation.
Yeah,
that's why it's relatable.
Yeah,
and irresponsibility.
Yeah,
which is also relatable.
So then, so Jaina has been having a lot of problems socially at school, right?
Yes, I mean
an awful lot, and it's been like
at that age, and particularly what she's into.
I've got something right up this alley. So go ahead.
So I told her. So she came home with a story yesterday. She was like, I got into like a roast with this other kid is what they call it. We called it the dozens. I don't know. Where you shit talking, right? And I was like, how'd you do? And she's like, not good. And I was like, what happened?
Was that the most disappointed you'd ever been as a father?
Well, you know what's funny? Because she's pretty good. I'm going to give you an example here where something she just burned. She burned Laura last night. Like all my kids can do it because we do it. Like, we're on each other all the time, breaking each other's balls. And, but like, so I was like, what happened? She's like, well, this guy, let's just say, it doesn't like bring kids' names and this shit, was giving her friend, Maddie, who I have talked about, a hard time. Now, Maddie hasn't been good to Jana.
Right.
Like, and Jana's been like chasing her around. And, man, it's a nerve-rage business. It's hot today.
Oh, shit.
So I was like, so Jana's been chasing this girl around because they used to be really good friends, and now this girl's kind of too cool for her, And she was like, well, he was making fun of her, and I jumped to defend her, and I was like, why? I was like, she hasn't been good to you. She's not good to you. Like, why are you making her problem your problem? She's part of.
She wouldn't do it for you.
Fuck no, she's part of your problem. And then she was like, well, she was like, started crying. She's like, I just want her back. And I was like, look,
you're gonna have to learn that lesson now.
And I was like, look, it's not happening. I was like, you need to start diversifying your relationships. Find people that care about you, and find people that care about you, and fucking invest your time, energy, and effort into them.
Yep. Just remember what you had and let it go.
So she started crying and walked out of the room, and I let her walk out of the room. And then, but I felt guilty about the way our conversation went down. So I was like, look, I said to her later, I was like, look, I think what would be beneficial for me, because I don't want you to not talk to me about this stuff, and I don't want to make you feel like I'm dismissing it, but I think what would be beneficial for me is if you told me in the beginning, look, something happened, and I want you to either do one of three things. I want you to hear about it. I want an ear, I want a shoulder, or I want some help.
Yeah.
And if I know what game you like, I can give you all three. I can give you the ear, I can give you my shoulder, or I can give you some help. But I just want to know what you're looking for, and then I'm happy to give it. So we're gonna start that because I don't want to hurt her either. I just want her to fucking toughen up and fucking like. Somebody said something like really mundane to her, and she was like fucking like she just said something she couldn't catch, and she was like, they said I couldn't catch. I was like, well, can you? And she was like, I think I'm pretty good. And I was like, I mean, do you think you're the greatest catcher? Like, I mean, who cares? Like, toughen up.
Right.
Minor things.
I can't juggle. If somebody's like, Bobby can't juggle, I'd be like, yeah, you're right.
What the fuck kind of clown are you?
Trash
Exactly.
Bobby the trash
What
clown.
a trash
That
clown.
might be the title. But anyway, so that was that. Did you have something that you want?
So I'll be honest with you. I thought you were going in the direction of gender identity issues, which not with her, but with her friend circle.
Right.
So and I'm secondhand privy to a lot of this, but Kennedy was in a foul mood before school the other day, and her and I got into it a bit. Just a lot going on in the mornings. So Kelly talks to her later, and I don't know the details, but it's something about an individual who last year identified as a female, this year is identifying as male and is dating one of her friends who also has flip-flopped gender identity a couple times in the past years. And I believe she told Kelly that she's just exhausted trying to keep up with it all. Because she's just...
Which is understandable. I mean,
it's understandable. It's like it's hard enough for me to keep 50 people's names in mind.
Right. Much less the rest of it.
Like, I went, I told you this before, like I went to pharmacy school, 4 years, same class, same 65 people. I couldn't name every single one of them at graduation.
Did you name half of them?
Yes. I named like 40 or so. Because me and my friend, like my good friend, the only guy I really hung out with played this game. It's like,
okay.
And I was like, oh shit, I don't know that guy. I don't know that bitch. I see her all the time.
Wow.
So to carry on from the Jana popularity issue, she's talking about those problems with last night when Laura gets home, and this is when I told her, look, I need a new way to do business here, et cetera, et cetera. And Laura was like, and look, you can't take everybody's problems and try to fix them. And then I was like, and then I said to Jana, I said, when she says that to you, you should say, hi pot, I'm kettle. And then Jana looked at me like, like it was a bad joke, and was like, that's not going to get me popular, and just went back to the comments. Which was funny.
Well,
This
I mean,
old white people think they say.
the
yeah,
thing is,
for sure.
if you're trying to be popular, you're never going to be popular.
Yeah,
You've got
you
to
just
find,
are, or you,
or you're not, and you're perfectly fine.
So,
But like I don't know. Like just as a
I don't think she wants to be popular. I don't think she cares whether or not she.
No.
I think she just wants a friend.
no, but
And I think she has no friends, like real friends.
It's a good time to learn that like people aren't going to be your friends forever. I don't know. It's tough lesson, but like as soon as I really fucking accepted that, like my life was better. Mm-hmm. Because you start holding on to fucking toxic people in your life, man. Like we had this thing going on. You're not that person anymore. You're kind of shitty, but I'm gonna hold on to you anyway. It's not good times.
So
It's like throwing away. It's like cleaning out your storage, Joe. You and I talked before. There's like I threw away stuff this week that I have for 20 years.
And the problem you don't throw it away is because you look through the box and you see all the nice things.
You see
and
one or two things,
Right.
and you're like, "Well, I'll go through this." No, you won't.
Don't
Either pull
think
out
about
those
it.
two things you want to look at occasionally, and throw away all those fucking concert ticket stubs and bullshit you've had forever.
Yep, just don't think about it.
Nobody
Throw
cares
it
that
out.
you saw
Throw
the
it out.
Oak Ridge Boys in '85.
The
Nobody
who?
cares.
The who?
So then,
Exactly.
also last night while we're sitting at the table, these gnats, one or two gnats go flying by me. Right? I've talked about this
From the bananas?
from in my opinion, it's from all these fucking plants that are in the house. Right? 'Cause-
I have a lot of plants. We have gnats.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think you have as many plants as we have in the house.
Are you sure?
So, like, I did a little test the other day. You can't sit anywhere in my first floor kitchen or living room and not see from any vantage point almost 5 plants at one time.
I have to look when I go upstairs. 'Cause there's a lot of plants in my house nowadays.
But they're subtle. These ones,
Oh.
they're little sneaky plants. Like, you know what I mean?
Just like tucked away here and there.
So,
Do you have some succulents?
so I was like, I was like, we all know that we all are pretty sure, the kids and I, that they're coming from my wife's plant collection, right? Because some of them are outside plants. We bring them in the winter, and you know, so, like, you know what I mean? Like,
We're about to do that.
So-
we got a bunch that are coming in apparently.
Laura said, "Where are they coming from?" And Jaina looked at me, and I looked at Jaina, and then Jaina said to me, like, you know, Laura's sitting to her right, but she's like, let's work through this together and see if we can find a solution to the problem. Like, to me, and then, like,
That's good.
yeah, it was fucking funny. So that's it really for my nerd week. I'm gonna watch. I'm still watching that Scenes from Marriage. I think I might watch an episode tonight. We'll see. And I think that's it. I did. I've been watching a little bit of like stuff for like music episodes last week. We did publish the Michael Jackson episode on Patreon. Got a lot of good feedback from it. It's 3.5 hours long.
Wow.
But we go through it all. We go through Jackson 5 to
Wow.
the Jacksons to Michael to his death to, like, you know, we cover it all. So it was a pretty good episode.
He hadn't put in any albums out since he died.
Yeah, no, he had 2 posthumous. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, 2 posthumous. But and one right before he died. Invincible came out like right before he died.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot how close that
Yep.
was to
Yep.
his death. He's been dead for a minute.
Yeah. 2010, I think.
Whew.
Yeah. Something like that.
Time fucking
I
is
think.
crazy.
Don't quote me on that. I think.
But no, think about it. It's been a while, but it
Yeah.
doesn't seem like it's been that long.
So let me go. I have curated the notes, but I haven't. There's a Netflix biopic series coming regarding Kurt Cobain.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't watch the trailer, but
I'm not sure how I feel about
that
watching
dude
it.
looks
Really?
dead on. Like,
Yeah, he looks the part. But so talk about
I mean,
it. What's your
just-
thoughts?
I know. Unplugged New York was my first cassette.
Really?
Yep. First piece of music I chose to buy for myself as a human being. I love that cassette and that album.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
But like his death is so much conspiracy and controversy behind it. Like I don't know if I know.
I'm interested to see the story they tell, and if Courtney Love's involved or not.
Right.
She killed that dude.
Like there's something like
She killed that dude. She had that dude killed.
and I don't know, but he's still listed as suicide and
Or either she talked him into killing himself.
No, because like so they
like it's like I don't know, the conspiracy theory of it wasn't possible for it to happen the way it
yeah, when they interviewed the cop is like
No,
the
that's
thing,
no way.
The thing that I've said from the beginning is that like he was in a locked room that you can only lock from the outside. Like, and like the dude that killed him, like they interviewed him, like, and he's like, yeah, Courtney had me do, asked me to do a lot of stuff, and like it's crazy.
But yet it's still not like official.
No.
So it's a lot of bad feels around his death.
I agree. I'm interested in it because like that dude, man. So like, and I said this on the Michael show, it's a good little segue. To me, if I were to pick the top 3 people responsible for harmonies on the planet, like the person who just, it seemed like almost every time they touched instrumental music, they had the perfect melody to go with it, where you hear it one fucking time and you walk away humming it all day, and not in a God, this is in my head, but in a God, that shit is good, And it's fucking number 1 is Paul McCartney. Number 2 is Michael Jackson, and number 3 is Kurt Cobain. And like, and what's funny is that all of them are huge fans of the other 2.
Okay.
But like that fucking, I mean, obviously there was Bleach, and what was the other one? There was
Nevermind.
No, the first
in Euro.
No. That was the 4th one. It was Bleach, something else, and then it was Nevermind, and then In Utero. And Nevermind, dude, it's one of them.
Did you guys have ever heard of Nirvana prior to that album?
So I'm going to be honest, no. But
yeah, I remember
that shit wasn't on. Alternative rock music wasn't on my radar at that time. Like no one in my neighborhood listened to that shit. Like it was like when only thing I saw were kids would write Metallica on their shoes, and I'd be like, man, my dad would beat my fucking ass, But Nirvana was the one that broke through. That everybody was like, man, I don't know, this shit's kind of good. Like it was a door opening experience for me where I started listening to rock music heavier,
I think that it did that for a lot of people. I remember when that song broke so heavy, like the kids at school who had listened to Nirvana, they kind of had these glares in their eyes, like, what are you listening to?
Which I understand.
Music? Which, you know what? It's the best thing can happen is the worst thing, the thing you don't want to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like that shit changed music forever, man. Like
it did.
Like because like people don't think about that time, but like aside from Guns N' Roses, there wasn't really another rock band out there. It was all like huge glam or stadium or like over dramatized. Like Guns N' Roses was kind of like the only like just bread, like jeans and a t-shirt and a fucking guitar, and we're gonna go to work. And then all of a sudden, when Nirvana did it, Nirvana did it even more casual, and all of a sudden it seemed like you were disingenuous if you weren't wearing jeans and a t-shirt,
and a flannel.
And I don't think that was their intention.
Right.
No, it was just a vibe.
But it was
grunge.
I think it was probably more their intention than you realize.
But I don't think. You might be right.
I think David Geffen knew what the fuck he was doing.
That's possible. But I also think that then that shit went too far the other way when like you start getting rock in the late '90s with hoodies and jeans and Timbs on, and it's like, well, no, this is weird.
Yeah. Well, have you seen? And I can't remember the actual name of it. It's on Netflix. It's a movie about Motley Crue.
I haven't seen it. It's on my list.
So there's a scene in there when Nirvana becomes the #1 album, and they're like, nobody's showing up for our concerts anymore.
Yeah, that's it.
Just like that.
It killed all that shit. I know people that are like 10 years older than me that were like, heavy into like that era of rock music.
Mm-hmm. The glam metal,
yeah, like all the bit, like the Poison and the fucking Def Leppard and the and that's, I'm not taking anything away from them, like Journey, like all this shit, like they're great.
Yep.
But like
it's a different era.
But it was a different era. It was a changing of the guard, and like
but it was abrupt.
They pinpoint that shit the same way that like I feel like my generation of rap pinpoint stuff like Designer for the mumble rap stuff and all that, like is like this is when it changed.
I already felt old when Panda came out. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
When who?
When Panda came out.
Oh yeah.
But I see what you're saying.
But yeah. So I'm just fascinated to see how they do it, and it is a hell of a story. Win, lose, or draw.
Yeah. I mean, and Courtney Love still has
carte blanche
rights. She still has rights to all his shit, right?
Yep.
And the daughter and
Frances Bean. I don't know why I know her name, but
I don't know. It's just. Bad feels. Have you
just stand over Nirvana for a minute? I might have mentioned this in here. There's an interview that Dave Grohl did. I think it was with Pharrell, talking about how he lifted all his drums from like disco music.
Yeah,
have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I saw that. I think you sent it. I think you
might
sent
have.
it.
Yeah. It was fascinating.
Jane and I, like, you know, because every night is pretty much the same here, rinse and repeat. Like, we cook together, we listen to music together, and we eat together, right? And I try to, like, and I was like, oh, if you're pushing your music on us, and if we don't like it, then but it's not true. But, like, I try to give her, like, little tidbits of history or whatever about it. Like, look, this was important because of this. And I got to talking last night about the drop. Like, the way that like a beat or rhythm drops, and I was going through like some of my favorites of all time, and one of my favorites is Senseless Apprentice from In Utero, where it's like as soon as you get to it, like it's just like that motherfucker hits you like a fucking baseball bat to the chest, and you know, and it was just serendipitous that I just happened to be talking to her about this. That's one of my favorite Nirvana songs of all time, but I happened to be talking to her about it last night.
I need to tell on Bobby musically a little bit. We were in this new vehicle today, and showing off the stereo. It's got a subwoofer in it, and put some. I put Top Back by T.I., which is the song
I don't even know.
That's crazy to me. It's a song that Kelly and I determined would be our test song for any stereos we tested. And it hit, you know, it beats pretty good for, you know, a factory subwoofer system. Bobby reaches over and turns it down. He's like, the neighbors. I'm like, who are you, dude?
Oh wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was rocking.
But I get it. I get it.
Oh, you don't have to live here.
But I don't know what it sounds like on the outside.
Yeah, and me neither.
No idea.
Me neither. I was just
Mason did say he heard us pull up the other day when we were there.
I mean, it's supposed to. You're supposed to.
Yeah.
That's the point of it.
well, because I had a in my 300, I had a Boston system in it. Mm-hmm. And that like it was no subwoofer or anything, but it was just like this crystal, like it sounded like that shit was like recorded by angels. Like it was just this, like, because they're like Bose's main competitor, or they were at the time. Like it was the purest sound I'd ever heard in a car before. But it wasn't like overwhelmingly bassy necessarily. But it was just like a really
had the crisp highs you're looking for.
In good lows, it was just like the legit. It just sounded like this is the way it was intended to be heard. You know. Which I miss, because now in the Civic, if you get that motherfucker past like 32, it's like. One day I was pulling up.
One of the reasons we took my car instead of her car to Boston.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
One of the days I pulled up in the at work, and I was just, you know, because I don't care if it sounds like shit. It sounds like shit. If I'm in the zone, I need to hear it loud. And I had that loud, and this guy DJ, he was like, can you even hear that? What the fuck? Like, can you even hear that shit? It just sounded like a bunch of distortion. It sounds like a preamp.
Oh my god.
The Undertaker situation is coming. What
happened?
Tell the people what it is and your thoughts on it.
So Netflix had announced a while back they had done a deal with WWE, and it was pretty vague about what it was. Have you guys on Netflix ever done any of that? It's kind of a choose your own adventure thing. There was a Black Mirror one.
Yeah,
where you
I did
could
that
pick.
one. I loved it.
Bangolodash. No, that's a place. Bandersnatch.
Yeah. It's
Bangolodash.
It sounded like a nasty version of a place you don't want to go. But this is I don't remember the exact. I think it's the Urn of the Undertaker. Basically, you're the New Day. If you know, you know. And they're in this mansion. And they're trying to get the Undertaker's urn, and it's a choose your own adventure thing.
Interesting.
I mean, I'll go through it and do it just because to see what the hell they're doing, but it just seems so hokey to me.
I mean, the Undertaker was very hokey when I watched.
Well, sure,
he had the pallbearer and his urn,
a
casket, and body bags. It was great.
Yeah,
the good times of wrestling.
So I will make sure to give feedback. I think that comes out. I think it's this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty quick drop. And they haven't even, that I've seen, advertised it on any of the WWE programs.
Because it's probably not on a platform that they care about. There's no like WWE shit on Netflix, so
yeah.
Friday the 13th writer wins massive legal battle to reclaim franchise rights.
Finally. Then we can play the games and shit again.
Yeah.
They can finally make shit.
Victor Miller, who is poised to reclaim the rights to the iconic horror franchise. The battle for the rights was waged between Miller and Friday the 13th producer Sean Cunningham, who claimed Miller penned the screenplay on a work-for-hire basis for the Manny Company. However, the United States Courts Appeals for the Second Circuit ruled that Miller was in fact Manny's employee for Copyright Act purposes. As such, he is entitled to authorship rights. Congratulations.
Can we get that shit with Marvel and
that may
the comic people?
That may hold the precedent. It may.
Yeah, it might be one of those. But this has been going on forever.
A long time.
Well,
but now that there's a ruling,
yeah,
they can cite it.
There was a game that came out. I mean,
Yes.
it's been the last 3 or 4 years, and they had
It's
this
huge.
Deadpool.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Realm guys were getting online together and
Yep.
playing, and now I think it just kind of went away, didn't it? Because
of this shit.
They had to name it Mask Slasher Man or some shit.
But I'm very happy for them, and I'm doing the notes as we.
I want to chime in with something. There's a company called GTP Toys. They make the Space Walls, Bobby.
Okay, I'm familiar.
They got
licensed. They were officially licensed.
This
right?
is but let's work through this. So they put out a 10x4 hallway environment set. It was, I don't remember how. I think it was $189, but it's a big piece. It's got all these lights. Pre-orders were last year, and I could have sworn I pre-ordered this, but I can find no evidence whatsoever I can't find an email from them. I don't have a login on their website. So apparently they're going to do 4,000 of these per the factory, but they only it was 2,000, and they only sold like 500 of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then like one of the two guys that works there quit, and as the guy wrote in the piece, he said, so and so John went off to do something profitable. And apparently, between the cost of that license and the cost of the tooling that they've already spent, they're not renewing their Disney license. They're just going to release
third party
White Space
Walls.
Hall. Yeah, and then he said we'll also be able to make Space Walls again. Which
why didn't they sell
stuff.
though? I wonder.
I don't know. It wasn't
because people seem to spend money on dioramas nowadays.
I'll be honest with you.
A lot of money.
I thought that it was, maybe the margins were fucked up. Maybe that Disney. I would imagine that Disney license just ate them alive.
No, but I'm saying it didn't sell well. It's a problem. Right? If they sold all of them, maybe they would at least done better.
I don't know. Yeah, he was saying that.
A lot of that shit is so accessible now. Like I almost feel like they were like 2 years behind the 8 ball. It's like I remember when I was looking to do shit for my diorama, it was like, man, like, oh, I know one guy, he lives in Canada, he's got a 3D printer. Now, if I wanted to do the same thing, I could reach out to a plethora of people for help and assistance where, like, you might not need it now. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's true.
But I'm saying, like, you have a great business doing that, and like a lot of your stuff priced about the same or more.
Oh yeah. My average ticket is more than that cost.
So these guys who has their stuff on license and on a legit store for a decent price for a good piece, I'm just wondering why it didn't do well.
Well, I don't know, but I think this'll, and I feel bad for those guys, but I think this is one of those situations where your dreams came true and it's a nightmare. You know,
like, I hate to hear it. While we're on the subject of toys, though, Dynamite is releasing action figures. Did you see this?
Dynamite.
Yeah.
Gen 13, is it Dynamite?
No, that was Wildstorm under Image.
This is
Vampirella. Red Sonja.
Okay.
And then that Devil Lady. Devil Lady.
I think it's Lady Death.
Purgatory.
Oh, I don't know.
No, Lady Death is
the other.
White
the white lady.
Fully white.
Oh, yeah.
So it just has this little picture here. You can kind of see them, but they look good.
I think it's those Fison bodies.
No,
is it not?
No, they're like action figures.
What figure is that on the top left corner?
Okay, so they are actually. They are. I don't know what you call it. They're not the Fison body. Because there's been some stuff similar to that released recently.
Seamless bodies.
The seamless.
But they look fantastic.
What you want for the ladies' figures,
right?
Really.
They look fantastic though. I hope I would love to see a lot more of these like little independent. I feel like I went a little weird there. Independent like comic book shits like have their little lane. You know, I think that would be cool.
Still waiting for Battle Chaser stuff, bro.
Yeah.
Which will never come because I was promised 2 issues of comics 4 years ago and they're nowhere to be seen. Fuck Joe, man.
Long gone.
When Purge happened, I'm gonna find that guy. I'm gonna put a gun to his head. Draw.
Hey, there's a guy.
You fucking make up with me a story right the fuck now.
There's a Kickstarter I backed that has never fulfilled and won't. And then one after and that's the problem I have with Kickstarter. You should not be able to do a second Kickstarter while you have one that's still in production. But he's here in Maryland. I think he's in
get
Laurel.
him.
Let's go get him.
The Scarlett Johansson Disney beef has concluded. The Hollywood Reporter revealed that Walt Disney Studios and Scarlett Johansson came to a settlement over the breach of contract lawsuit. Specific details of the deal were not publicly disclosed.
Of course.
Although Deadline's
settling.
Dominic Pattern reported that Disney will end up paying Johansson over $40 million via multiple payments.
Good for her.
A statement from Scarlett Johansson shared by reporter Aaron Couch celebrated the resolution and her experiences with Disney. Johansson shared her excitement for the opportunity to continue working with Disney in years to come. I'm happy to have resolved our differences with Disney. I'm incredibly proud of the work we've done together over the years and have greatly enjoyed my creative relationship with the team. I look forward to continuing collaboration in years to come. So I would take this as she won.
Yeah, about time the minorities win one.
I know, man. Dude, it's for the Asians, man. Stop Asian hate.
Man, it's great. Great news.
Oh, God. But yeah, I mean that's
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
and that they're still gonna work together and shit. I mean, of course, for her, it's like, well, she got the money. It's on Disney whether they want to keep working with her or not.
Yeah, and I mean they don't have to because it's fucking her story is a wrap. Like they don't have to do anymore with her.
Exactly.
Rap, like RAP.
Yeah. But like I'm just happy that like. Because they did breach the contract.
Yeah, they did.
Like
they fucked up.
and Disney's one of them, and
Right.
them had to pay the piper, and I'm okay.
They probably knew it. They knew they were fucking up. They were banking on trying to win it anyway. And when
Yeah.
they lost, they're like, yeah, fair is fair.
And then try to fucking cut with the COVID shit,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
just like, man, come on.
They know. They fucking know that.
Will Smith has confirmed the reason he didn't reprise his role in Suicide Squad. He said, I was working when they were ready to shoot. It was a timing issue.
What was he working on?
That aligns with reports from claiming that
Some
Smith,
entanglements.
yeah.
Bad Boys 5?
Actually, it's probably when he had gained like that 40 pounds and
Men in
hadn't
Black
shaved
5?
all. Yeah.
Entanglements, we entangling and shit. Dude, have you ever heard that? Have you still not heard that shit? It is awful.
Is that
awful.
that August guy?
Yeah, the guy that she was fucking.
Yeah.
The guy that she was fucking put out this song. And I think the song is called Entanglements.
It is.
And then
It's
like
awful.
the chorus is like, it's entanglements, we entangling and shit.
It sounds like those guys from the aliens from Galaxy Quest.
Yeah. And then we have a fuck ton of questions.
Hooey.
Is it a metric fuck ton?
Yes. Yes.
It's weird how, like, when we put out the questions email, we get a fuck ton of questions.
Yeah. But I mean, it's good. It's good. I mean, I love the questions. But like, what's funny is
Love
like,
to answer them.
love to answer them. Dude, you love to ask it, love to answer. It's funny because the way I keep track of questions now, because remember questions used to be a nightmare.
Dude, it was everywhere. Fucking everywhere. And they're just trying to compile into a list.
So the way I keep track of questions now is I don't open the email. So I have when I go to the Nerd Rage email, they're just there, right?
Unread.
Correct. But the bad side of this is that I hate a notification.
Oh, yeah.
I hate like a red
Yeah,
square.
I hate it.
So like as soon as we get done Nerd Rage, I'm always like, and then like as soon as the first question comes in, I'm like, fuck. But I also, of course, appreciate them. All right, so Dr. Diecast. Dear NRR, that's Sanjay, by the way. Dear NRR crew, concerning your segment on heartbreak, I fortunately have never been cheated on, but have felt truly crushing pain from unrequited love.
Yeah, that's another.
During this painful time, I oddly found solace in The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, perhaps from the stories of Gandalf and Eomer, Carl Urban specifically. During your moments of heartbreak, did you find comfort, inspiration, or escape in your fandoms?
No.
I
I didn't have these fandoms at the time. I was just mad. I listened to a lot of music.
Well, that's what I was
Yeah,
going to say.
exactly.
very
This is-
music.
I'm not sure if it helped me
I probably
or just made me
drove around by
wallow in
myself
it.
a lot.
Music
Yeah.
is always my fucking emotional crutch.
Yeah.
For everything. It's everything.
Yeah. But I think it's for a lot of people. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a reason why we have music, but like it depends on how you use it, right? Like some people use it to be uplifting or like help them get out of a situation. But like sometimes I don't do that. I would listen to music that makes me wallow harder. Like, you're in
It'll
a
give
bad
you the
situation
shovel.
and you listen to the music that is like, this is bad.
And it gives you the shovel to keep digging.
Yeah, right.
But
So,
sometimes, as long as like even if sometimes that could be its own process.
Yeah, sometimes you need that. Sometimes that's the best way to get through
yeah.
those emotions is to just waller in them for a bit, like Amanda.
You know what fucks me up without that? Like someone shoveled her in the back of the head, and her it's very out of character in that universe for her to not just get up and shoot everybody afterwards.
That's true. It was a big
Like she
shovel.
was just like cool with being shoveled in the head.
It was a kryptonite shovel. It was very heavy.
Billings wrote in. Shout out to Billings.
What do we owe?
What up, Billings?
He said, "Go Power Rangers." He said, "Hey,
I
you."
was trying to let that like disappear.
So, but during Enter the Realm last night, we were covering Mezco's new Power Rangers
Yes.
drop, which I'm not doing. I'm not doing all in on Mezco. I just have no interest. They're beautifully done. And somebody in the comments said Power Rangers. I'm like,
what I want to say, you motherfuckers out there, keep calling us that. You buy a set of those and you fucking make some customs of us, all right?
Yeah.
I want a Dolphin Ranger, a Skull Ranger, and a Jackal Ranger.
Yeah.
or just one with a box on its head. That's easy.
He said, "Hey, y'all for Chris. I had a couple questions. First, how do you feel about the two main styles of releasing streaming TV shows content? One being like Netflix, who dumps, or the other that seems to be like once a week. Now we have talked about this in detail before.
Like you two on one boat and I'm on another.
Well, I like weekly drops.
yeah. So does he. I like dumps. Big old dumps.
Yeah.
So like I tend to enjoy the content more when it's weekly. I just tend to, and it tends to have more of an identity. That's something else I've found about it. For me, it tends to have more of an identity about it because I'll be like, man, episode 2 when this happened. Whereas when I watch them, because rarely do I ever, what do they call it? Cram. It's not cram though.
Binge.
When I binge, I'm usually watching 2, maybe 3 episodes a night.
Yeah.
And when that happens, like I won't be able to remember what happened on what episode.
I never remember. That's the. I don't remember things on particular episodes anyway. I just remember the story as one narrative.
Yeah, so like I can tell you, like Mandalorian season 1, episode 2, this happened just because I lived with it. You know what
that's
I
the
mean?
way you watch things, and also it gives it a manufactured longevity. Right, like you drop everything once, it gets hype. Everyone watch it. You talk about it for a week, and then something else can drop. Whereas if it's something released one episode a week for 12 weeks, you have 12 weeks worth of memories of being into that show.
Yeah,
But like,
I agree.
Yeah, but for me, it's opposite. Like if I watch an episode and then there's no more, sometimes I just fucking quit and don't go back.
Well, he also prefers the Netflix model. It's because he can watch it at his own pace.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you, like if I have,
I thought you were cracking a cold one, but it's
No, not quite.
if I have the time, if I didn't have kids, I might feel different about it because I might be able to watch like 1 episode a night. You know, and
Yeah, you have a different schedule. Too,
that would work, but my schedule's so fucked.
And you will only watch things when you're about to sleep.
Yeah, it's also true. It's also true. But
Yeah,
but
that's
now
the
with
time you have.
But now with the kids in school, it's changing a little bit because like the White Lotus show that I recommended everybody is fucking great. We watched it like Tuesday or Thursday afternoons when the kids were, you know what I mean, and enjoyed the shit out of it. Second question, mainly for Bobby because he mentioned it about a month ago, but please, anyone who's seen it, chime in. Have you started Why the Last Man yet? And if so, what are your thoughts? I haven't.
I want to, but I have not. I have so many things on my list, man.
And that's another one that like I haven't heard a word. I haven't heard anyone speak on it.
So he said, since we haven't heard and we haven't heard anybody talk about it, he gave a little, he said, I knew nothing about this comic until you mentioned it then. Mentioned the upcoming show. I've since read a synopsis and summary of the comic so that I had a basic understanding of the show and if I can spot any comparisons. I read that the comic only touches on the politics of it all briefly, but the show is diving a bit deeper into it. I personally find that fascinating because the show seems to be addressing a lot of the questions I had as how our world would work without men. I love it when shows deep dive into details like that. It tends to keep the story more grounded and believable. As of writing, only 5 episodes have been released, so that's where I'm at. Would be further along if I had the option, but I'm enjoying it so far. So that's good. Love you guys. Thanks for the laughs and great content. Love, peace, and titty grease.
Thank you.
Man, he's got to sign off already.
All right, so we got Matt Eyes Covered. He said, hello, Power Rangers. Chris mentioned a video about an abandoned amusement park, Hard Rock Park, I believe.
Yep.
Which led me down a deep, dark rabbit hole, so to speak, of urban explorations.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch.
I found a couple of YouTube channels that explored old houses, stores, attractions, etc., including several locations in Baltimore, such as Old Town Mall, Fort Armistead, and a mental hospital. I will return. Stand by, folks. Fort Armistead, for those that don't know. Do you know about Fort Armistead? Mm-mm. Do you know you?
I might if you mention it, but I don't think
I
so.
can't wait to tell you guys about Fort Armistead, but I'll get there. I remember an abandoned house in the middle of the woods where I grew up, and we would go do stupid things that stupid kids do, of course. Now that I'm older, I wish I explored it instead of just smashing windows, because I remember there being pictures and paperwork thrown all over the place.
Oh, wow.
You guys got any good abandoned building stories? So do you guys have any good ones before I go into this?
I'll let you lead. I've got something that's kind of abandoned, but...
So, like I have mentioned here before, there was a tuberculosis ward that used to be like in like on the border of Carroll County. That I have been in, and it was fucking amazing. Like, it was horrid, but it was fucking amazing. So Fort Armistead. Fort Armistead is a look it up. I highly recommend that everybody listening go look it up. It's very interesting. It's kind of the Wild West. So it exists, and it is city property, Baltimore City property, but it's technically in Baltimore County. So Baltimore County doesn't explore it or like police it. And Baltimore City has to go too far out of jurisdiction to get to it.
It's just fucking out there.
So it's pretty much the Wild West. Yeah. Well, do you want to know what goes down in the Wild West?
Tell us.
Gay sex. That's what goes down in the Wild West. So
Brokeback Mountain.
There's a parking lot there for the fort, and I plan on going to this fort this year for
gay sex.
For gay sex, I'm gonna go really early in the morning. I'm gonna try to use it for a video backdrop. But
So are you telling me these people in these cars are doing gay sex?
Yes.
Right now.
So
this isn't live, Joe.
So the parking lot is actually important. There's a coast, so there's a beach there that people do fish on and stuff. Beach is a relative term, but
waterfront,
a shoreline, you might say, and people do fish there and stuff. There's a rule to that parking lot if you know the rule, and like I don't know it, but it's like if you're backed in, you're looking.
I've heard these kind of things
for sex, and if you're pulled in, then you're looking to fish or do something else. Leave them alone. So the reason why I know all this, I have a friend of mine named Scotty.
Yes.
And he is a fucking nut. A lovable nut. But he has the wildest life ever. Like he was a hobo, he caught trains, he had a hobo name. Hitching Bow. Like you're supposed to have like your code name.
I didn't know that. You have
superhero name. You write it on the trains and stuff.
Oh, like Jisk. Is that where?
Yeah. So his name was Hitching Bow. So if you ever see a train that says Hitching Bow on it, that's my boy Scotty. One time he hitchhiked across country and slept in the O of the Hollywood sign, and then hitchhiked back
just for the funsies,
just to experience it. Now he's often into weird shit, like at one point he was looking for sea glass. He's just like, you know what, I want to see some sea glass. So he would go to all these beaches and stuff and look for sea glass, which took him to.
So he's like the Toad guy.
Fort Armistead. Yes. And he was walking around, and then he saw this old fort, and he was like, "Oh, explore." And he was walking around, and he was like, it was the weirdest thing, but these guys kept coming up to me. Like, they were hanging out at the fort, and I was like walking up, and this guy came up and was like, "What's up, man?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing, just checking the fort out." And he's like, "Yeah? What are you checking out? What are you checking out for?" And he's like, "Oh, just, see what's going on with it. I heard it was up here. I looked at it on Google Maps and, just taking it, looking for sea glass, really. I know it's crazy, but, but he's like, "Oh, all right, then enjoy your day. All right." Walks another, 25 feet, another guy pops up out of nowhere. "Hey, man, what's up?" And he's like, "Oh, nothing." He's like, it was the weirdest thing. All these dudes like all over the place, just popping up to see what's going on with me. And then I would see other dudes in different parts just eyeing me, like. And I was like, why are there so many people? They're spread out. And they're like looking around. It's like fucking Lost Boys over here. Like
right.
The Planet of the Flies, whatever that shit was called. What was that?
It'd be Lord of the Flies. Planet of the Apes, Lord of the Flies.
That's it. And then so we came back and we started Googling. We found all these videos, and there was guys that talk on these videos. Are like, look, it's a place where a lot of men go to have like gay interactions. That, like the same shit that goes on like truck stops, like where like married men get away and live out this fantasy or whatever the case may be. So
you're telling me this car that's backed in, this Lexus plate number? I'm kidding. Honey, your car's backed in on Google Maps again.
If that's the way it is, like I said, I can't remember. One is one way.
There's not a lot of backed in cars here. Just the one.
Oh, then maybe it's the other one.
They're like really spread out.
Yeah.
Well,
so to speak.
Yeah, but they like they fuck in the fort because you can get in the fort, and it's like a whole fort. It's underground. Like it's yeah. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, and let
me know when you go there. I'd love to go.
For some gay sex.
But like what's crazy is like they used to have like raves and stuff there, so like that's when the police used to get involved, but ever since the rave scene kind of not completely died but definitely subdued.
It's not
I mean, this place looks ripe for a video shoot. The graffiti and the little amphitheater here.
Perfect.
I mean, you might be able to film some other stuff while you're there.
That's my story.
All right. I worked job before this. I covered Jackson, Mississippi. And
where you from?
No, I will not let you do that to me.
Wow. Draw a line somewhere.
Yeah, it's in between Alabama and Mississippi. The warehouse we had was in downtown Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah.
Wow.
On the corner of Hooker. I saw some things unrelated to that. So the building was a grocery warehouse that was built in like the 30s. Like there were big and there was an abandoned railroad track behind it. So there were these big sliding doors that you opened, and that's how they would literally unload off the train right in this building. I got to poking around there a bit, and like there's a basement to this place that nobody ever went in. It was like super low, but we found these pallets of old like flyers and stuff from the grocery store down there. And then there was a safe, a walk-in safe about the size of this room with a huge door. And I'm like, what happens if somebody gets trapped? It's like, well, don't go in it then.
Yeah, you die. That's it.
But that was, I mean, it was that part of the building was abandoned, although we were using the rest of it as a warehouse space. But that was so wild, just to find stuff.
I love
like
that shit.
I do too.
I went to a abandoned military school, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I don't remember where it was Virginia, but I know I was visiting this girl in Stanton, Virginia. So it's around there somewhere. But like it was like old school style, like with like castle tops and shit. But like we went around wherever went around the roof. But like when we went to the basement, I got creeped the fuck out. I'm like, I'm not a superstitious man, but I don't fucking mess with the dark forces of the universe.
Dude, can't do it.
I got the fuck out.
I don't blame you. The next one was from Lance. And it said, "Hey guys, my name's Lance. I'm an avid viewer of Joey and Chris on Twitch.
Oh, yo, so Lance,
nice.
What's up?
But I'm a somewhat new listener to the pod. Currently listening down the line from newest to oldest.
See, I send people over here, motherfuckers.
You all talk about anime a lot, and I'm curious if any of it is a fan of Junji Ito.
Oh, I mean, I am obviously.
Is that my saying?
Junji Ito.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, it's a very famous horror manga person. Like you probably, even if you're not into him, if you see his art, you recognize it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's like horror in manga is done pretty well. There's not much horror comics that I know of.
Used to be.
Back in the day.
Deal. Like it was one of the reasons got him shut down.
Yeah, the comics code.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Love the show. I always find myself responding as if I'm right there in the room with you.
That's the point of this.
That's the goal.
Yep.
Thank you.
Love to hear it. Yep.
I'll see you later today. Shit.
NRR. Howdy, NRR crew. Last episode, you were talking about swears and why they are considered bad. If memory serves, as it has been a while since social studies class, it's similar to why ain't isn't considered a proper word. The rich bougie fellows would get their food and silk and whatever from the average Joes. Now they were using words like poultry and feces and intercourse and whatever, which then got slanged into chicken and shit and fuck. Huh. And upper class were not going to accept their vocabulary their vocabulary being tainted by the workers and deemed it as bad. And it wasn't the common worker that wrote dictionaries in those days. And so here we are today where some words are considered worse than others for no reason other than society. I'm 95% sure I'm remembering that correctly, but if any other listener is an actual expert, I would like to be corrected to have my facts straight. I thought you guys would find that interesting. That's about it. Thank you for your time from Ibuka. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
I mean, it's obviously a social construct made by people in power, and there's no other reason for it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just how we got there. We don't know, but it is definitely because of that.
Sanjay wrote in again with a little bit of. He said, "I enjoyed your discussions about nostalgia and have been thinking about it myself. I'd like to share my thoughts on the forms of nostalgia that I feel exist." Because I said that Laura and I said there might be three. Yeah. So he said one, direct nostalgia, classic definition of nostalgia: emotions and sentiments tied into objects and experiences that remind one of past positive experiences. Example: I'm buying MP44 because I love my G1 Prime during a loving childhood. Indirect nostalgia, emotions and sentiments tied to objects and experiences that allowed one to take escape from past negative emotional states. I'm buying my MP44 because my G1 Prime allowed me to escape my parents arguing. Inverse nostalgia can be a form of direct or indirect when the individual is currently acquiring these past objects or representations of past objects that are associated with either positive or negative emotional states, but at the time in the past, the individual could not obtain said objects.
Okay. That's where a lot of my shit is. I couldn't get stuff. Now I'm going to get stuff.
Right.
Inverse direct nostalgia would be I'm buying the MP44 because my parent could not afford G1 Prime, but was able to watch the cartoons in a living household, where the indirect would be I'm buying the 44 because I never was allowed to have a G1 Prime, but was able to watch the cartoons to escape my parents arguing. Looking forward to your thoughts. Take care, Sanjay. P.S. My wife also says theater.
Why?
Is she
an avid reader?
Yeah, like I said, I'm still working on it, so I want to hold off on it. But it's a conversation that I'm having behind the scenes and trying to kind of, because I think that nostalgia covers all of it in an umbrella sense, but when I say it, I might not be saying the same thing as you, and vice versa.
Right.
One word with many meanings. So when we're talking about different things with the same word.
Kevin R. Said, I surely help you talk about the Sopranos shit. So, like I said, I'm working my way through it.
And my plan is to watch it this week, so hopefully next week we'll be able to have a conversation.
He says, so since this is a thing now, go motherfucking Power Rangers.
I better see some licensed figures, bro.
So he said the Sopranos prequel was both fun and disappointing at the same time. I want to hear all the Ragers talking about this shit. Also, I hope y'all know that Rager is the name I call my dick when he's mad as hell.
Dick hard.
But yeah, I want to talk about it too. I want to see it, but I can tell you that my initial was disappointment. But like I said,
is it possible that it was too hyped up, man? Like people are like, oh shit, Sopranos.
I don't know that it was really that hyped up though.
Yeah.
I don't. For fans, I feel like the fans of the show are real hype about having more of the show.
So it's too soon for me to tell because I just haven't seen enough of it to make it. But I can say that I was like, man, I'm not this. I think that the stuff that I'm interested in regarding Sopranos, regarding Tony's childhood and his father and Junior and his mom and all that stuff, or the stuff about that fascinates me. And the parts that I saw wasn't addressed at all. And that's what put me off. And instead we were doing these other things, which I understand, but I didn't see how it was important for me to know these other things to further appreciate Sopranos as a franchise. Well, but I haven't finished it.
Also depends on which demographics are they looking for, or they're looking for a huge demographics. Are they aiming for the people who are already a fan of the show? Are they aiming for people who aren't already a fan of the show that might want to get into it now? Watch them.
Well, that's the beauty of doing a prequel it serves both masters.
Yeah, or they're trying to please both, but that again dilutes shit because you don't have a focus.
And watching it, I'm like, I don't think I would. I'm not sure if I would. So here's a good point. This is good. Having seen what I saw, and I didn't love Sopranos, I wouldn't go back and watch the rest of this.
Okay, so they missed the mark there.
Wow. Okay.
Because there are.
But that being said, that doesn't mean that it's inherently bad because I haven't finished it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to finish it first.
Right.
But there are media that's catered towards all existing fans, where a non-fan will watch and don't really follow because they don't know what they're talking about or don't care about what they're talking about. So maybe they're not hitting on certain things. Because
Yeah.
a casual wouldn't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. They're hitting on things that like I said, I need to see more
Yeah,
of it.
you gotta
I need
finish
to
it
see more
first.
of it.
Book report next week.
KFC. So this is one we're going to talk about briefly. Yeah. What's up, Power Rangers? Now I'm going to tread lightly here because I'm not looking to stir the pot. So anytime an email starts with something like that, I do this. That's me cracking my knuckles. You may not even end up wanting to read this.
Too late.
I'm just curious about how the whole SCU All Hail Unicron thing. I listened obviously to them and they made the comments about how they definitely won't be invited to the cool table. Just wondering your thoughts on that. If you cared to share any right way, keep up the good work. So that is actually an easy question. I was concerned when I saw some of it. Like I just looked at the email briefly because I'll try to have a natural response. So I'm not like pre-rigged.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Right.
But when I saw that you may not want to read this, I was like, okay, that one I probably should pre-rig. And I saw SCU on there. I was like, oh fuck, and I backed out, and I just made a note to myself that I'll talk about whatever is my business to talk about, right? Of what I know or don't know. It's not like I'm entrenched in their business, but I mean I obviously saw it happen.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not real sure what in the world
they're
even talking about.
So Shattered Cast Uncut, a podcast that I was on prior to, that circled around third party Transformers, came to an end.
Which we mentioned last week.
It has concluded.
That what?
And
okay.
now they have started a new one, All Hail Unicron, which I have not listened to.
Okay.
But there's no beef or anything, as far as I know, right?
As far as I know, as well.
Well, where was that? What?
So I think they said a statement on the show that like we're definitely not going to be invited to the cool table, but they didn't say it like there's an issue. For those listening, I can see how it could come off that way. I think they're saying it like, look, we're going to be a fucking hodgepodge, fucking bunch of ragtag, bunch of guys. We're not going to be invited to the cool table.
I got you.
They didn't say it like because there's any issue for those listening.
It might be misleading.
Yeah.
So clearing it up for anyone listening here.
Well,
I've got a relationship with every single one of those dudes. You know, and that's what it is.
At Fort Armistead?
meet me down at Fort Armistead.
There's a buddy booth at Fort Armistead for sure.
That's gonna be your country. Okay.
That's gonna be my country version.
But yeah, there's no issue. Like I said, I'm sad that it's over because I invested a lot into it, and that's the brand means something to me. And
that's an error.
I mean, I remember hit memories of it. And shit. I mean, I remember
you started it.
I remember my wife and I coming up with the name. My wife came up with the name. I don't know, but I'm sad to see it conclude, and I wish them the best. And like I said,
you still talk to them.
Yeah, I still talk to every single one of them, and so and you do too.
Yeah, Dr. Justin relatively recently.
Yeah, me too. Justin's invited to the fucking Halloween party. I don't think he's coming, but he's invited.
His wife makes bomb desserts, bro.
His wife is fucking cool as shit.
Yep.
And we didn't know that. I mean, she was always nice and pleasant, but she got in on that fucking round table pod during Skullfest. And when we listened back to that shit, we were like, oh, she needs her whole pod, like our own, like weekly. Anyway, Baltimore question for the NRR crew. Morning NRR and possible special guest. Wife and I are going to TFCon, and I haven't been to Baltimore since 5th grade. Since you all seem to be relatively familiar with the area, can you all tell me about the area that is around the hotel? We were looking to walk to the aquarium Friday, which is just under a mile, about 16-minute walk.
That's fine during the day.
Just try to check things out. Also, if you would get into the world. Okay, well, I don't even know where this shit is. Where is it?
It's at Camden Yards.
Yeah. I don't know how.
It's
right there.
Yeah, you're fine.
I don't know how old you are, but like what. Back in the 5th grade, it's nicer now than whenever your 5th grade was.
Yes, 100%. Like all the shit that the problem areas that used to be heavy down there in the downtown area, like the Lexington Terrace and Murphy Homes and all this shit. That shit's gone.
Gone. Yep. Just stay around the harbor, you'll be fine. Like no more than 2 streets up.
Yeah,
and no more than 2 streets in, I should say.
And the other thing to keep in mind is Baltimore Comic Con's going on at the same time, which. It's about a mile between the two venues, I think. Maybe not even that far from.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that far.
So yeah, it's not. It's maybe half a mile.
Like
but,
it's hella gentrified down there. You find it.
Yeah, I mean, listen. If you go 2 blocks the wrong way, you're gonna know.
Yeah.
Just be aware of your surroundings. Don't walk anywhere by yourself.
Don't cross MLK.
No.
Don't cross Saratoga.
Don't go further than the Potbellies on that one end.
Like I would generally say like if and it's not like you couldn't, like you could be fine. It's just if you were you may not feel comfortable if you don't know the area, if you don't know the vibe, if you don't know the rhythm of it. Like don't cross Martin Luther King, don't cross Saratoga, don't cross President, and and you could be fine.
Yep.
But you could also not be fine.
All kinds of shit to do there.
Yeah.
Like without leaving that area.
Yep. 100%.
All kinds of places to eat and
Bobby may be more comfortable speaking about this, like comfortable in the environment than anybody coming from out of town would. So just pay attention. Pay attention to where you're going and what's going on around you.
But Pratt Street is like Broadway.
Yep.
Like that's like the it's the safest fucking street in the city. Like and that'll take you down all the way to the aquarium and up all the way to fucking Cannon Yards. Like,
Bobby, are you going to Baltimore at all? I think my plan is to go Friday.
So yeah, I'm definitely going Friday.
And that's probably it.
And then I might try to sneak over there. I'm trying to buy some art for the basement because I got a couple ideas of
there'll be people there.
Finishing touches.
Some Artist Alley folks just rubbing their hands. How many Baby Yoda prints y'all need?
Yeah, no doubt.
I will tell you for TFCon, if you don't have a weekend pass, you don't get in till noon into to the dealer room on Saturday. So I'm announcing the first ROC Saturday morning brunch. It's at 10:30 TBD location. So there'll be something. There'll be a video shoot on Saturday. I don't know all the details of it yet, but there will be one if you want to get interested. And I might have a pod on Sunday, a mobile pod. So if I can get my shit together, we'll see. Let's see. And then I think there's one more. Nope, that was it. All right.
So let me refresh my email one more time just in case I can get the notifications out of here.
Boom.
Nope, we're good to go.
Clean.
You guys would hate my phone. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean some I have I have this one app.
I don't understand people's email inboxes that has a next page.
Whoa! I have this one app in particular. You guess how many notifications it has on it?
33.
Take a guess, Christopher.
Which one is it?
I'll show it.
Oh, it's an app?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's YouTube and it's 968.
So it's not.
Okay.
It's I'm not gonna say the name of the app. I will show you guys.
It's not Grindr.
12,469 notifications on it.
No way.
Just delete the app.
Start again.
Reinstall. It's a clean slate.
Yeah. So, and that tone, ladies and gentlemen, means that our time has concluded here.
Wrap it up, B.
Hey, Bobby. Hey, Bobby.
It's gonna get so annoying so fast,
Bro, we're gonna have to snatch that shit out of his hands and put it over here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put it way back. He's gonna get a stick and try to poke at the board.
All right. With that being said, shout out to the rest of the cool table, including All Hail Unicron. If you listen to this and you have a podcast or don't have a podcast, as far as I'm concerned, you're part of the cool table as well. I did it. You saw me do it. It was a casual, but shout out to the rest of the Nerve Race team. I hope to see some of them at TFCon. We have Marilyn Phil, who I'll see at the Halloween party, doing our Twitter and our notes and sliding up in your DMs. We have
get some, bro.
We have Raul on our Instagram. And we have link trees went up across the board for everything, so that should be making life a little easier to find everything. And shout out to Dante, of course, who takes care of our Facebook. I just took care of the link tree on the Facebook for him. Just I know he's got enough going on, and then anybody else that may be working behind the scenes. And with that,
flap your labia.
Tasty tank.
tight dick player.